What is going on, guys? It is episode 542 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. We are having a disorganized start to the day, but we're going to have a good one. I am here once again with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Yeah, it's a little bit chaotic today, but that's okay.
You know what I blame? I blame your interview with Meghan McCain yesterday. That's what I blame.
Yeah, yesterday I was on Meghan McCain's podcast, which is a sentence I never thought I would say, but it happened. And I think it went well. I think it was a fun episode, and you guys should check it out. It's called Meghan McCain Enters the Chat. I linked to it on my X account. So check that out after the show if you want to. We talked about some of my background, like how I ended up here. And we talked about Gen Z and how it's over for them, meaning us, I guess, if I'm talking about myself. Some of the stories that we cover, stuff about the Grammys, things like that. She's really nice.
Nice lady?
Yeah. I think we should have her on the show.
Should have her on the show?
Honestly, I do.
Can I talk to her about her dad?
Yeah. We'll get into all of the tea about the Iraq war.
About your dad.
We'll spill the tea on the Iraq war for sure. That would be.
We can do that.
That would go over well.
So I heard your dad and Trump didn't get along. Well, we'll talk about it. It'll be a lot of fun. Guys, we got a bunch of stuff to get into today, but before we get started, would you please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. We have passed 99,000 subscribers. I believe we're on our way to 99.3 very, very soon, probably before the end of this episode, which means that we are getting very, very close to the lauded 100,000 subscriber mark, which I am very happy about and very excited for.
The fact that 200 people since yesterday clicked the subscribe button is actually kind of crazy to think about.
The crazy part is, like, I'm thinking about yesterday where I couldn't even form coherent sentences.
And they were like, yeah, subscribe. Well, thank you for being here, guys. You probably had something better to do with your life.
Wait,
but you were here with us.
What did I say? I said we need to, like, we're like, well, they're not here for the information.
They're not here for the information. They are not here for our personalities.
We literally, they're here for the, we've really tapped into the I've got nothing better to do demographic, and we've really hit that one hard.
It was an untapped market, and we came to fill that role. Yeah,
somebody's got to do it, guys. So please subscribe to this channel. We need you to subscribe. We're getting very close to 100,000. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Share this video with your friends, this live stream, all our videos. Get more people to come in here and hang out so they can share it with their friends. That is the best way that we can grow as a channel. So thank you for that. And remember, all super chats, $20 and over. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read those super chats right then and there. Perhaps you have thoughts on Meghan McCain and you want to share your thoughts with us and you want to share them right now. You can do that.
As long as they're not excessively vulgar.
There you go. So go ahead. All super chats, $20 and over. We'll read them right then and there, and then we'll get back on topic. So that's all well and good. So what do we have to talk about today? Well, number one is that yesterday Jay-Z was winning an award. It wasn't a lifetime achievement award, but it was the
Dr. Dre Real World Impact Award or something at the Grammys.
And he had a speech that he gave in which he talked about the racism behind the Grammys because his wife Beyonce has not yet won Album of the Year, despite the fact that she herself is the winningest Grammy Award winner ever with like 32 or 33 Grammys.
33 wins, 88 nominations under her belt, but this wasn't enough.
He is saying that is an account of racism.
Also,
so
excuse me, that was the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award.
Sounds
what was Dr. Dre's global impact?
Beats headphones. Beats by Dre.
True.
That's what I think it was. I think it was Beats by Dre. So we're going to talk about that. And he found Eminem, which I guess is a global impact.
Sure.
I'll always thank him for giving me the Slim Shady LP and the Marshall Mathers LP.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dr. Dre and Dr. Dreidel.
And Dr. Dreidel.
So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Taylor Swift. I know you guys love hearing about Taylor Swift.
I'm not over it. I'm not over the Grammys, like this story with Jay-Z, and then Taylor Swift acting like a 12-year-old. Like, I didn't really tap into my anger at that.
So we're going to talk about I want to talk about Jet Emission Stalker, which is a label I never thought I would give. We had a $20 one here for Bucky Ducky. He says, I do have something better to do. Y'all are the background. XD.
Yeah, I relate to that. I do this all the time.
We've really tapped into the we're good for background noise market. That's what we are.
Yeah, which means that we have calming voices,
gosh,
right?
that's
We have
not true.
Audiobook voices.
Somebody said yesterday, somebody left a comment. I was on an episode of The Salty Nerd like last weekend, and somebody said, Brett doesn't look like he sounds. He looks like he would be thin with glasses, and I just didn't have glasses on, so they basically had the right thing, except for I'm not thin, and I do wear glasses. They were right in just about every.
So they were basically body shaming you.
Yeah, basically they were saying that I'm fat and bespectacled, which is fairly true, except for I'm not fat, or except for I'm not skinny.
Bespectacled, I like that.
Yes, it's a good word. So guys, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this gentleman who created an app that allows celebrity private jet owners to have their emissions tracked, which allows the jet to be tracked. And Taylor Swift is suing this guy, or threatening to sue this guy, because it makes her feel scared.
It makes her feel unsafe.
She's feels very unsafe with that. Yeah. Also, there's this crazy story where a Bollywood actress, a erotic Bollywood actress named Poonam Pandey, she faked her death. And if you think back, we talked about Lil Tay faking her death to like sell albums.
Right.
This is even worse.
Yeah.
This is faking your death on behalf of activism, which is even worse.
I didn't even remember Lil Tay until you just mentioned her.
I have rebranded that song a bop.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you listen to it?
I listened to it again, and I've rebranded it a bop.
I don't even remember. It was the most generic,
not a fan of the music video.
Almost AI-generated song ever.
I rebranded it as a bop.
All right.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about this. She faked her death and then revealed that she was not dead a day later, and said it was on behalf of finding a cure for cervical cancer. So, you know.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. So we'll get into that.
People are pissed off, basically.
My guess is a lot of people are looking at her for very different reasons than cervical cancer information. That's just my opinion.
Well, she's not in Korn, right? It's
soft core.
Korn.
Yes. They call her an erotic Bollywood actress, whatever that means. I'm guessing Skinamax level. Yeah. So we'll talk about it. We got a bunch of other stuff. So if you are ready, Mary, we will just go ahead and get going. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. I'm going to try and form better sentences today than I did yesterday, guys. All right. First things first, we do have a sad announcement. Country music legend Toby Keith passes away at the age of 62. He had stomach cancer, which is very, very sad. And he was a very big pro-America guy. He was very much a patriotic person. And I feel this way anytime you lose. I mean, we lost Carl Weathers not that long ago. But anytime, like, we talk about how, like, yes, sir, like, you don't need to be sad when a celebrity dies. You didn't know them. But what I think about is, like, if they believed in things that you believed in, or they made art that mattered to you, I do think that is something to be maybe not seen as like a loss for humanity, but you can see it as a loss to something you cared about. And I think about how this guy, like, I was looking up his song list and I couldn't believe, as somebody who's not like a big country fan, like my brother listened to country, my mom loved country music. I listened to it in passing if it's on. I didn't hate it like some people do. Some people have that visceral hatred of country music.
Yeah, I don't get that.
The amount of songs of his that I had heard of and like could remember the chorus to just offhand was crazy. And he performed at Trump's inauguration.
Oh, that's crazy.
Which is a big thing, and a lot of people came out and were talking about this. So Donald Trump Jr. says we lost a legend this week. John Rich says, waking up to the terrible news that our friend and legend Toby Keith has passed away from cancer. He was a true patriot, a first-class singer-songwriter, and a bigger-than-life kind of guy. He will greatly be missed. And then it's just a bunch of people going through. It says, in honor of his passing, here's the most American minute you'll ever witness. And it's sad because I do feel like we're entering this era where it's so fashionable to hate being from here now that you're going to start to see more and more of these celebrities pass away over the years, and more of that love of Americana will be lost.
Yeah, it's not just the mainstream celebrities, but with country music in general, the generation that started it is passing away, and then the ones replacing them are unfortunately people like Maren Morris and Casey Musgraves, Kelsey Ballerini, and all of these liberals who hate country music fans.
Yeah, and
so,
David
hopefully
Hookstead,
he can pass the torch to someone worthy of it.
David Hookstead says, it was from his quote where he says, never apologize for being patriotic. F him. Yes, I support that idea. So there's his reach was very, very wide. So it's very sad to see when somebody that well known passes away. If they touched you, in some way, if they made art that really spoke to you, I do think that's amazing. Carl Weathers passing hit a lot of people really, really hard. You know, people like Gina Carano made a very lengthy post about him. But by the way, we're going to be talking about Gina Carano tomorrow.
Yeah, in case anyone is going to beat us to the punch, there was this big news with Gina Carano today. Unfortunately, it was only 20 minutes before we went live, so we can't cover it today, but that's fine. We'll cover it with guests.
She's suing Disney.
Tomorrow. She's suing Lucasfilm and Disney.
She made a post about how Carl Weathers never spoke ill of her even after she was fired. And a lot, like Sylvester Stallone made a big post about it. Adam Sandler posted about it. All these people that he'd worked with. And Carl Weathers made a lot of movies. He's one of those actors where, depending on the generation you grew up in, he's your guy. If you're older, he's Apollo Creed. If you watch Happy Gilmore, he's in Happy Gilmore. And then a lot of people know him from The Mandalorian. All sorts of things. So I do think it's not stupid to at least mention when celebrities die, even if
I'm not saying it's stupid.
They didn't, even if they didn't touch her life specifically. So, all right, guys. Remember Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey? Well, we watched it.
I remember it fondly.
Yes, we were the only ones laughing.
Well, the trailer is now out for the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey sequel, and they've really ramped up the production value. I don't think we're going to show it today because of copyright, but
I do
you can
recommend
see
going and checking it out.
Pooh is back, and he's like bringing his friends, and he's like chasing Christopher Robin with a flaming chainsaw, and
he speaks for the first time.
Yeah, he talks.
I don't think he
now.
ever spoke in the first one.
I don't think any of the animal characters talked in the first Blood and Honey, at least that I can remember.
They made squealing sounds.
They've made some improvements to the masks, from what I can tell.
Yep.
And they had to recast Christopher Robin. I guess the guy who did the first one wasn't up for the sequel. But they also have like this scene where it appears that Pooh has broken into a strip club or something.
Well, that could happen to anybody.
Starts a massacre. So it looks pretty good for what it is.
I like the poster.
Yeah.
I like the poster. So go ahead and check it out, guys.
Are we gonna get Eeyore in this one, or did they kill off Eeyore in the first?
I think they killed off Eeyore. I think that's Piglet.
Yeah.
So,
and then what about Tigger?
Is he in this one? Is he copyright?
I think that's the one in the center right there.
That right there?
Yeah, but I don't see his stripes.
Is that the?
I want him to bounce around.
Like as he's stabbing you?
Yeah.
That'd be great. You should do that. See, the thing is that what you do is by the end of it, you make Christopher Robin survives all of this, and then he becomes a serial killer in the final one.
Oh, well, we don't know. Maybe this could be a 10-movie franchise.
Because what they always used to say, what they always used to suggest was that like in all of the Scream movies, as they kept making more, the predictions always were going to be that Sidney Prescott was going to end up being the serial killer in one of them, because it's like you can only have so many people try to murder you before it drives you nuts and you become like them. So maybe by the last one we have Christopher Robin as the bad guy. Thank you. I was like, are the money guns working? I'm trying to make sure that the money guns are working right now.
I don't think mine's working. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if yours turns on for the next one. But yeah, we'll wait and see. It'll be interesting. We will be going to review this one as well.
Yeah, when is it coming out?
I think like next month or the month after.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Why don't they release it during Halloween season?
Actually, let me double check.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
I was actually just looking at this list right before we...
I think it was the same last time.
It's coming out. Yeah, it's coming. It comes out the same day as Madam Web.
Oh, what?
So next week.
I would much rather see this on Valentine's Day than Madam Web.
Sorry, we've already got
Wait,
Madam
guys,
Web.
let us know in the chat. 1 for reviewing Blood and Honey first. 2 for reviewing Madam Web first.
But technically,
I want to know what you guys want.
The Madam Web one is early release, right?
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah, that's the earliest showing.
So we could do this one on Thursday if we want to go do 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat. What was it you said?
Guys, 1 if you want us to review Blood and Honey first. 2 if you want us to review Madam Web first.
So 1 for Blood and Honey, 2 for Madam Web. All right, we'll wait and see. But that's coming out. They just released the trailer now?
Yeah, it's odd.
That's crazy.
I'm seeing a lot of 1s.
Yep. Some 2s.
Some 2s.
A lot of 1s.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the order?
1 was Blood and Honey.
2 is Madam Web?
Yeah.
All right. We're not watching both in one day. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, that would be superhuman.
All right, guys. So we'll leave those up there. Somebody says 3. Somebody says 0. It's not really
Okay.
Nice. All right,
Very
guys.
helpful.
So if you were wondering how the Grammys did, they did do better. Did you notice outside of Jay-Z's statement, I didn't see a lot of inherently political talk at the Grammys?
I mean, it could be construed as political that all of the televised awards were given to women. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the nominations, obviously the Academy is prioritizing nominating women over men.
But the Grammys brought in 16.9 million viewers last night, or 2 nights ago, excuse me. That's a 34% increase from the year before.
Is it just because Taylor Swift was there?
I think so.
And she's basically taken over all of 2023?
All of entertainment in general.
All of it, yeah.
I think that would have a lot to do
I think
with
that
it.
also the anticipation of, like, is she going to bring Travis was a huge deal to people.
Well, people knew that she wasn't because of the Super Bowl. Maybe if he hadn't made it to the Super Bowl, he would have came.
Yeah.
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 So that's a big deal. Good
Interesting,
for them.
though.
Psych.
Given that award shows have been steadily declining in viewership, other than this.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys remember not that long? Was this last Friday?
This was literally on Friday that we covered this. A white woman won Miss Japan in a pageant there, and she has given up her crown officially because she was having an affair with one of the judges. However,
not from this year.
This was not one of the judges that voted for her. This was from the year before. However, it could be maybe seen as a conflict of interest if he's pulling strings to give her the win.
People that are judging.
Especially there like so much outrage over a white woman winning Miss Japan, which isn't unreasonable. I kind of see it the same way. Like, I don't think that a non-Japanese person
They said she had confessed to knowing about the man's marriage and family. Imagine the position she would have found herself in if she didn't know about the marriage and the family, and she sleeps with a married man not knowing he's married, but still has to relinquish her crown.
She's apologized to her fans and the general public in a statement on Monday. Apologize to his wife. Apologize to his family. How about that?
Says, I am truly sorry for the huge trouble I have caused and for betraying those who have supported me.
Yeah, so I guess the title will now remain vacant. A Japanese woman doesn't even get to win it. The runner-up doesn't even get the crown.
Would you really want to be the runner-up who wins because of
No, I mean, but still, there was so much outrage over her winning in the first place. You would think that a woman who's actually Japanese would deserve the title. I don't know. I guess I feel like this wouldn't happen if it were a US or like Western pageant. I don't think that she would be expected to give up her title for an affair because we don't have morals in the West.
Chat, let us know. Has there ever been somebody who's won a pageant that's been accused of something like this? Maybe somebody in here knows something about that. I don't know anything about that, but it's possible.
I don't know. I would think that a Japanese pageant would have morality clauses more than anything in the West.
I feel like they should have, even if they're just performative. I feel like they should have them here in the West,
Because you're supposedly not winning just based on looks, right?
Supposedly,
you're supposedly winning on the answers you give to questions and your personality,
them, right? They always have
and
to
like the content of your character.
What do you believe in? I think we need world peace.
Whatever she said, it got her the crown. Now she doesn't have it. Good riddance, I guess.
Yeah, it's too bad. Maybe just
she's a 304.
Don't have affairs.
You can't trust these hosts.
Straight to OnlyFans with you.
Yeah, probably.
Where you can then put Dignify on her and put some clothes on her. Also, somebody brought up an interesting question yesterday. They said if you can put clothes on the 304s, does that mean you can now? Is there like a reverse of Dignify? Is there undignified?
No, but AI porn already exists.
I'm just saying they need to make both. The same company needs to make both and pull in money from both sides of the market.
I don't think they would.
They should. We should do it. All right, let's move on. So here is Demi Lovato proving that tact isn't something she knows a whole lot about by performing this song Heart Attack at an event for women with cardiovascular problems.
Do you think that this was rude or offensive?
I think it was on purpose. And
I think she did it on purpose. Yeah, singing Heart Attack at an event for women with cardiovascular problems. They're loving it.
Now, if only somebody had actually had a heart attack there, that would have been really bad news.
Oh no, she goes out to the ambulance. Yeah. Lights flashing.
That's not a good one.
And then I saw a response, just wait until you see her perform Skyscraper at the 9/11 memorial.
She can do that.
I'll never forget her ghost hunting show where she serenaded a ghost
for dealing
with her song Skyscraper, because the ghost, she perceived the ghost was traumatized by the patriarchy,
of course,
being oppressed by men. Really touching moment from Demi Lovato.
She's also had like she's the one who had like the re-glow up, right? She's like hot again.
She's lost so much weight. She's looking skinny. She's looking good.
Good for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
You may have horrible tact when it comes to dealing with the general public, but at least you look good doing it.
She's crazy, but she looks good doing it.
Well, the hot crazy scale is a real thing. It
yes.
matters.
Maybe it was Ozempic. We don't know.
Ozempic. Camelot says the most offensive thing is her singing is abhorrent.
I disagree. I think Demi Lovato is a good singer. I think she's a really good singer. Yeah.
I would rather listen to Miley Cyrus personally.
Really?
Yeah.
I really just don't like Miley Cyrus's voice because she's destroyed it by smoking and never shutting up.
There's a $20 one here from Left-Handed Link, says when the what does that say? When the Cinnabon with Muslim friend. What, can you read that?
Wait, okay. Left-Handed Link
went to a Cinnabon.
Went to a Cinnabon with a Muslim friend. When we got there, Ellen DeGeneres came out of nowhere, grabbed her by her hijab and threw her down to the ground. She then bought her roll, took a bite of it, and spit on her.
Well, at least she bought the roll.
Yeah. Beating someone up and then buying them a Cinnabon. I believe you.
Okay. So sketch therapy.
Believe all women.
Sketch therapy. Sketch therapy says Vanessa Williams gave up the crown after they found her corn pictures.
Oh, when was that? That must have been years ago.
The 90s?
Yeah,
late 80s or the early 90s.
That wouldn't happen today. I really don't think that they would hold a woman to the same standard today.
Victor White says Ellen Degenerate. That's her alter ego. Like when Ellen DeGeneres gets really drunk and out of pocket, she goes by Ellen Degenerate. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
She's generous with her beatings.
It's really fun. Okay, so I was watching an old episode of Castle, and they were talking about, he says like somebody says name a celebrity couple that's actually still in love, and somebody says DeGeneres and DeRossi, and then like 3 years later they got divorced.
Oh yeah, Porsche. What was her name? Portia?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or whatever. Mm-hmm.
All right. So not the greatest move, Demi. Not the greatest move. Sad news for everyone. Dr. Dreidel has in fact retired.
He's retired from music. Breaking! Facts by Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro has now finally dropped from the top slot on iTunes after 10 days of pure magic. Rap Hanukkah is over. And so with tears in my eyes, I have another announcement to make. To all the little homies who have been lifting me up since I began this journey, it was an inspiring moment, a musical supernova, but now the time has come for me to walk away from my art. And so today I announce that I am retiring from rap to spend more time with my family. It's been real, dogs. And never forget, the music never dies so long as the beat is in your heart.
What genre can he cover next?
Well, he's retiring from rap, but he's not retiring from music in general.
Maybe him and the rest of the Daily Wire dudes can make their own version of Rage Against the Machine.
Well, they do have Smokey Mike and the God King.
Yeah, I was listening to. We got a $20 one here from Mike. He says, "I only think Demi works in collaboration with others. I've never enjoyed her solo."
I like her rock covers of her old songs.
I tell you how I don't watch like much long form content at all on YouTube these days. Like my brain is so shriveled from like the internet and my phone and social media, and
it has holes in it.
And my
your brain has holes in it.
And my rampant ADHD that I mostly watch short form content. But for some reason, I watched like a 20-minute documentary about the band POD, who I never listened to or cared about, but apparently they were like a Christian rock group.
Okay.
And they had the song Youth of the Nation, which was very popular when I was younger.
We got $20 from Not Sure Without a Message.
Thank you.
I guess you weren't sure what to say.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I was watching this 20-minute documentary on what happened to POD in there. So maybe Ben can make a Jewish version of POD. That would be great.
Did you ever see the Sam Hyde skit, the Jews Rock skit that was on Adult Swim?
No.
Yeah, maybe he could make a band called Jews Rock.
There we go. That'd be great. Somebody says Brett mentioned ADHD. Drink. Thank you. ADHD, 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 ADHD. You're wasted now. ADHD, ADHD.
Don't put them in the hospital.
They're all going to go to the hospital now. It's not my fault. All right, so we're sorry, Dr. Dreidel. Come back anytime. We would welcome you back. 50 shekels.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we talked about Matt Rife on the show.
Yes. What was it? We talked about him and the 6-year-old beefing on the internet. Well, ex-adult film star Lisa Ann was arrested and harassed by the NYPD. They offered me a choice to be 5150'd by ambulance and admitted to the hospital, or arrested and put in jail over someone thinking I used my phone during the Matt Rife show. I'm at a loss for what I just endured. Traumatic, unnecessary, and extreme are topping my list of emotions. Here's the clip.
I did nothing wrong. I didn't touch my phone. I wanted to see Matt Rife. He's a friend of mine.
Listen, she's one of America's stepmoms, so you should probably release her. Also, this is the lady who's famous for playing Sarah Palin in porn. So,
oh really?
Free Sarah Palin.
Yeah. Do you think that they're friends, or is she just saying that? We got a $20 from Bucky Ducky. Yes, Brett, there is Undignify, and it's scary easy for anyone to do it. You can go download Stable Diffusion right now and run it on your computer. Revenge porn is illegal. Why not AI porn? We need laws on it yesterday.
Good luck on that. We'll wait and see whether that happens. Given that it would still be
it's not called, I don't think it's called Undignify. Yeah. It's probably not run by the same people.
But the point is, like, look, for Lisa Ann, there's also this video here New York Post has this clip where they show her
getting dragged out.
Yeah.
She was apparently
here's
acting
her.
erratic.
Here she is. Okay. Surveillance footage shows Lisa Ann using her phone, so she lied. Not good.
She's not supposed to record it. You're not supposed to record comedy specials.
Nope.
And here she is on the security footage. It's making me feel like when we watched the TMZ footage of Lauren Boebert.
My favorite part of this, guys, is everyone started putting in pictures of the porn star Johnny Sins, the guy who's famous for, they always post his picture because he's famous for playing all occupations because he's done so many scenes. He's been like every job. Like, was this the man that arrested you? So she's getting trolled by people that
you can put all of those professions on your resume.
Yeah. Yep. So she gets arrested, and
why would she post this extremely embarrassing video of herself getting arrested,
coming out of the building? It's a good question.
This is not a bit, she said.
I was arrested at the Matt Rife show.
Damn.
And as to your question, do you think they're actually friends? I'm guessing most famous porn stars can just claim a straight guy as their friend, and the straight guy will just say, "Yes, that's my friend." Either way,
he hasn't said anything so far.
I don't think Matt Rife is going to say one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some fake news circulating on X yesterday that I found extremely amusing. Taylor Swift holding a Trump flag at the Grammys red carpet says Trump won, Democrats cheated. The community notes got to this pretty quickly. Stay informed, this is manipulated media. This is a digitally altered video. Taylor Swift did not hold a Trump 2024 flag at the Golden Globes. This is not the Golden Globes though, this is the Grammys.
Yep.
And they linked to the real video of her, but it's still funny to think about. Could this get her canceled? I always wonder, what could Taylor Swift do to actually have her fan base turn on her? I don't know if she could really do that.
Support Trump.
That's why, when I saw that tweet that said, "You wake up as Taylor Swift, what's the first thing you do?" I said, tweet the N-word. Because, that would just be hilarious to watch the entire internet go into a meltdown over it.
Yep.
And I wonder if the Swifties would follow her anywhere.
Yeah.
Even if she supported Trump.
I don't think they would support her if she supported Trump. I think that, here's the thing. That's two levels of, because we've talked about how, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Taylor Swift fans are a lot like the QAnon fans of Trump.
Yeah.
They're seeing Easter eggs and everything. The problem is they've been hardwired to hate the guy so much that it runs headlong against this person that they love for completely different reasons. She is considered to be so wholesome, and he is considered to them to be so vile that I don't think that their brains could even. I don't even think that level of cognitive dissonance is possible to put up with.
So their hatred for Trump outweighs their love for Taylor Swift. I don't know if that would go for her entire fan base, but I do think about that sometimes. I just learned the other day, because I gave comment to a Washington Post article about this whole like political psyop thing with Taylor Swift. There is apparently a group chat of like Capitol political staffers in DC called the Hill Swifties. And they were actually quoted saying, if we weren't into Taylor Swift, we would be QAnon. So clearly there are parallels. There's
a part of the brain that connects both of them.
Yes.
There somewhere. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. All right. Let's move on then, shall we? We got an interesting one. So we've talked a lot about Disney in the last couple of years. It's a very, very big topic. They seem to be spiraling downwards, and nowhere is that more evident in the future than this ridiculous idea that they are going to make a female-led Pirates of the Caribbean movie without Johnny Depp and actually expect it to make money.
Yes.
It would be actually funnier to watch them just take $300 million and light it on fire while doing some type of weird hula dance around it. Like, that would be better.
Doing Ring Around the Rosie around a pile of burning money.
So you get Bob Iger, Mickey, and like maybe that Mickey Mouse or that Minnie Mouse.
All of the mascots.
The Minnie Mouse that got caught smoking.
All
recently.
of the Disney mascots.
And then Kathleen Kennedy from Lucasfilm, and you get Jon Favreau, and you get
doing like
Kevin
a weird
Feige.
Occult ritual, like CERN.
Around. And it looks like they're at Bohemian Grove.
Yes.
And they're just like, and then in the middle is a statue of Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow, surrounded by $300 million. Maybe they do it in gold coins to be more pirate-esque. Maybe half of it is in U.S. currency, the other half of it is in gold coins in like a big like a chest that's on the ground.
So, if Johnny Depp was telling the truth that he would need to be paid $300 million and 1 million alpacas,
Disney's like, where do we get the alpacas?
Could they still make money back on this film?
I mean, they would have a better chance giving Johnny Depp $300 million and 1 million alpacas than they would trying to get this to work. I'm sorry. So it's claimed that Disney's female-led Pirates of the Caribbean movie is back on and eyeing Ayo Edebiri as one of the stars of the film. Of course, she's from The Bear, which, let's be fair, a lot of people love that show. And you love that show?
I do think that this is a talented actress, but I don't see her in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
There is no actor that could do it. It's kind of like, I actually think they would have a better time replacing Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man than Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow.
Well, especially with all of the, bad will around the way Disney fired him.
Yes.
And blacklisted him at the time of Amber Heard's accusations.
So if you remember, guys, originally this was supposed to be a Margot Robbie movie that she was also going to produce, and it was going to be done by the director of the Harley Quinn movie that nobody liked.
Who was that director?
I don't remember her name off the top of my head.
The Birds of Prey one.
Yeah, the Birds of Prey director.
Wow. But that sounds like a horrible idea.
This is Margot Robbie's quote at the time. She says, "We had an idea and we were developing it for a while, ages ago, to have more of a female-led, not totally female-led, but just a different kind of story, which we thought would have been really, really cool. But I guess we just don't want to do it," Robbie revealed at the time. The details also included that Christina Hodson, that's her name, who teamed with Robbie on the failed Birds of Prey movie, was supposed to write the project, and Hodson is also known for writing Bumblebee and The Flash, as well as canceled Batgirl. Look, I didn't hate the Bumblebee movie. I thought the Bumblebee movie was fine. The Flash I thought was fine, if not forgettable, but mostly related to Ezra Miller not being a horrible actor, even if he is a horrible person. What can you do? I didn't really attribute that to her directing all that much. It says
the rumor now is that Ayo Edebiri is going to star as a character named Anne, and they want a younger cast of pirates in this one, looking for hidden treasure. But the AI trailer shows an AI-generated Jenna Ortega starring as Jack Sparrow's daughter.
Even Jenna Ortega, I don't think.
Jenna Ortega couldn't even save this?
No, I don't. Her movie came out, the Miller's Girl.
The Miller's Girl.
Those clips were going around on social media.
I saw that and I was like, yeah, I don't really want to watch that. I don't know. I looked at the parents' guide. I thought that was a little bit too much for me personally, but it was an interesting concept. False Me Too accusations.
We can watch this. Screen Culture always posts fake trailers, so let's go ahead and watch this here.
Are you in or out?
Being betrayed by my own daughter.
Learned from the best. I found something you would never have imagined.
I've been saying that much more before you came out of your mother.
The Captain Jack Sparrow who raised me would never have missed a chance to go treasure hunting. Not even if getting it would put his life at risk.
What do you propose?
Fall divided. Or win together.
Not exactly the greatest hook, but... That last shot was pretty decent. You know what's interesting? I was thinking about this recently. Something they could start doing if you're like a director who has like a through line with an actor that you work with a lot, you could start using AI mock-ups to like pitch movies to companies.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like you could like help them visualize it.
Like with this one, they're pitching a movie from Disney that would never get
Jack
made.
is a deadbeat dad, someone
Yeah.
pointed out, right? And
Where's
also,
the mother?
Like,
I don't know.
And Camelot in the chat says, or earlier said, even like Jack would have to be there, Johnny Depp would have to be there for it to work, otherwise it's DOA.
Jenna Ortega is like 85 pounds and 4'11". What happens when a bad guy punches her once?
The power of plot armor in woman power.
Well, Jack
comes into
Sparrow
play.
is gonna save her.
But the thing is, like, even if they have him in the movie, and if it's like one of those passing the torch type movies, everyone will shit on that too.
Yeah. They usually
Because they can
use
smell
some
the agenda.
ancillary character to put in the diversity.
I was
$20 here from Midian 1911. A female-led pirate movie ended Gina Davis's career.
Also, somebody mentioned, because we talked yesterday, or no, we were talking about the porn star who overdosed, Emily Willis. Well, there was one who died like 2 weeks ago named Jesse James, who like she was in at one point was the most expensive. I was looking this up. It was the most expensive porn ever made, and it was a Pirates of the Caribbean parody.
And it
cost
was
like
that high budget.
It was like $10 million to make.
That's insane.
Yeah. But like I was wondering, what is Johnny Depp doing now? Well, right now he is directing. He's working as a director, so he's making a movie called Modi or Modi. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. It's a biopic. It's a biopic of painter Amadeo Modigliani.
Okay.
I'm horrible with names. But it's his first directing role in 25 years, and it's going to have Al Pacino in it on top of a bunch of other people. He says, embarking on this cinematic journey as the director of this movie has been incredibly fulfilling and in a transformative experience. I would like to express my profound gratitude to the entire cast, crew, and producers for their unwavering commitment and creativity. What's interesting is like, so he did this. He's also still performing as a musician. He just did a benefit concert with Rod Stewart the other day. He seems to be doing fine. As we know, he will always be fine. He's got the money to do whatever he wants. But the Disney needs him a hell of a lot more than he needs Disney.
Well, let's say they gave the project a $300 million budget, and then they paid him $300 million. I think that it would make over $1 billion in the box office.
Pirates? Yeah, I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean, if I remember correctly, somebody in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe as the Pirates franchise went on, the majority of its box office is made up overseas. So like it makes a whole ton of, kind of like the Fast and Furious movies, they make their money overseas now. So, and you know, people overseas, they love Johnny Depp.
They could still make a profit
Yep.
after paying him $300 million for the movie.
Yep.
So I don't know, but they're not going to come to their senses.
They don't
obviously.
need, they need him a hell of a lot more than he needs Disney right now. He's fine.
But Amber Heard is also doing vanity projects.
Yes.
So
well, you know.
She's on the downswing.
All right. What would you like to see? Would you like to see Cringe or Cute of the Day?
You decide today.
All right, I will choose. Oh, did we have a Cringe picked out for today?
I thought we did.
I had one specifically. It was the Super Bowl one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I can send you a Cringe. If you
Yep,
wanna.
go ahead, go for it. Well, so we can save the one that I had for later. Go ahead and send it right now. We'll do Cute of the Day first then, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at these. Here we go. This is from Corey, first ambassador to the moon. He says, here's my boy Barley and his toy moose, Mustafa.
Barley. Cute. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the cringe. I definitely had one.
You should send it if you've got one. Unless we want to do the...
Oh, I have it. Okay.
It? All right.
Yep.
Send it and we'll do one more here. This
is a
from
bad one.
I Am Bandit says the blue healer is an incredibly intelligent and loyal breed. Bandit pulls off a perfectly timed nut shot about once a week. Good thing he's so handsome.
Cute.
Very cute. Very regal looking. All right. Let's take a look at what you sent me here.
It's pretty bad.
Okay.
Have you seen this before?
I don't think I've seen this one.
Okay. It's from a Twitter account called Women Being Awful. She's holding up a sign that says,
There's no problem with being a slut.
And they just film everyone's reactions.
Well, okay.
This
looks like Keegan Michael Key over here.
I love it. Да. Проходил? Прикольно.
Amen, sister. I'm on your team.
Cool.
They're like mad at this guy for like supporting her.
Yeah, I am mad at him.
Yeah, but they're doing it like because they're being combative with him, even though he's actually agreeing with what they want.
Cringe male feminist.
What you said? Hey.
Just why? I mean, the fact that you're walking around with a sign that says there's no problem with being a slut and no one reacts, that means everyone agrees with you. So why are you doing it?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Thank you. You agree? Are you agree?
Like the guys are gonna disagree with you.
They're like, huh?
Exactly.
The difference is you're asking people that have no personal relationship to you. Your parents might think differently. I'm just saying.
I mean, true. Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started then, shall we? Now that we're 40-something minutes into the show, ladies and gentlemen. Mary, tell us what's going on with Jay-Z.
Yeah, Jay-Z made a big fuss at the Grammys over racism. He essentially accused the Grammys of being racist against his wife, Beyonce, because she didn't win Album of the Year. Now, she wasn't even nominated for anything this year because she didn't release music in 2023. So I don't know why he chose to bring this up now, but here's what he said after winning the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. The most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work. So she has won 33 Grammys in her lifetime. None of them are Album of the Year, but she's been nominated for Album of the Year 6 times now. She's been nominated for 88 Grammys total, and somehow that is proof of racism in the Grammys Academy.
It's kind of like if it wasn't a subjective award show, you know, where the metrics are dubious at best. It's kind of like being a Hall of Fame baseball player but never winning a World Series, or a Hall of Fame football player and never winning a Super Bowl.
I guess, but is Album of the Year really that big of a deal?
I don't think it is. I'm just going by what I'm trying to imagine his logic is.
There's no logic behind complaining and being emotional.
You can write a great individual song, but you can't write a great album, I guess.
Also, her latest album sucked. It's only going to be played in gay clubs. But I was surprised to see that Xavier DeRusso agreed with Jay-Z here. So in 2013, Beyonce releases a groundbreaking album but loses Album of the Year to Beck. Grammy said the commercial success doesn't matter. But in 2016, when she was nominated again, she lost to Adele.
What year was that?
In 2016.
No, what year was it that it lost to Beck?
2013.
2013, it says Mumford & Sons won Album of the Year.
Oh, okay.
Beck won in 2015.
Oh, okay, got it. But
I was surprised by that. I was like, Beck is still around and winning. I remember that. I was like, since when did
back in 2016,
years ago,
when Adele won Album of the Year, she said that she didn't deserve it and that it should go to Beyonce because she was self-flagellating and posturing. And then the Grammys' excuse was that Adele was more commercially successful. Therefore, Jay-Z was right. And don't get me started on Harry. This usually doesn't happen to people like me, Styles. Harry Styles also won Album of the Year recently. Was that 2022?
Harry Styles won 2022. I'm sorry, 2023.
2023. Yeah, last year Harry won Album of the Year. And I can't make sense of this to this day, but in his acceptance speech, he said, "This doesn't happen to people like me very often, ooh-woo." And his point, I guess, was that he's a guy who wears skirts and paints his fingernails.
Yeah.
So he's oppressed. He's plausibly gay, so this usually doesn't happen to people like him. Beyonce has been robbed of Album of the Year so many times, and they cushion the blow with lesser awards.
What makes them lesser?
I don't know. I really don't. I think that this is completely emotional. There's no logic to it. He's just looking for something to complain about. He said, I'm nervous, so when I get nervous, I tell the truth. His acceptance speech wasn't about his own award. It was to complain.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's stupid. And I saw New York Magazine also reported on this. Taylor Swift just won Album of the Year, beating out SZA's SOS. With that, Swift broke the record for most Album of the Year wins of all time, which is 4 total, and now has more wins in the category than all black women combined.
Taylor Swift has won 4 since 2010, which is funny because her 2010 one is listed as a country album, and the rest of them are listed as pop.
Yeah, that was Fearless. Yeah. That was a while back.
But like SZA actually kind of gives people a masterclass on how you're actually supposed to respond in these situations.
Well, she was asked to break her silence on getting snubbed.
She says, "I'm grateful I won 3. I could have left with nothing, and I didn't, and I'm grateful. My parents got to see it, and I didn't bomb on live television, and that was so scary. I faced some really big fears, and I'm just happy that it all went well. Genuinely, I'm happy for everyone," she said, which is actually how people would like celebrities to respond when asked with these baited questions. You're supposed to kind of give the more professional answer.
Well, that's how Margot Robbie handled it when she was asked to respond to her Oscar snub for Best Lead Actress. And we appreciated that as well. But she was clearly being baited into giving a racially charged answer, saying that she deserved it more than Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift is white.
And these types of award shows are perfect for that type of narrative because the criteria is so amorphous and hard to explain, right? Like you said, one year it's because the sales were better. One year it's not, the sales don't matter. So nobody really knows what the metrics are that they vote on this stuff by.
It doesn't mean anything, and awards don't matter. And I just saw this headline this morning that Carey Mulligan said actors are 100% lying when they say they don't care about awards over commercial success. And if that's true, and if they all care about awards more than making money, then they're stupid.
Okay.
Right? The only thing you should care about is not critical acclaim, but whether people actually like your art.
Yeah.
So I think that's ridiculous.
So here's Album of the Year explained. They talk about like what the criteria is. According to the Academy, the guidelines are simple. Recordings must contain at least 5 different tracks in a total playing time of 15 minutes or a total playing time of at least 30 minutes with no minimum track requirement.
We got a $20 from Shane Emerson with no message.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
Or I guess message retracted. I don't know what it was. Thank you for your first super chat.
Thank you.
I just saw some insane responses. One person tweeted, "Taylor Swift looks like the wife of a high-ranking SS officer." And then when she announced her new album during her acceptance speech, they said, "Taylor is the type of girl who announces her engagement at someone else's wedding."
Do you believe, like, look, they're saying that the New York Magazine cries racism over Taylor Swift Grammy. Do you think that that's true? Do you think that race has anything to do with it?
No, I don't. No. I mean, obviously, this is the most woke industry on the planet. Yeah. Like, and also, by the way, she didn't release music last year.
Also, the thing that I find funny, I was kind of thinking about this yesterday when we were talking about the Travis Kelce hair topic, because it was so ridiculous about the haircut. About how they said, like, he's basically, it was like, how dare you announce that the fade is now called the Kelce during Black History Month? I said, yes, here's the thing. They are woke, as they use that term. Like, there's just one thing that will stop them from pandering. When something actually is a huge story. And right now, what's going on with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift is a huge story in the media. So they will pander unless there's money to be made elsewhere.
Right.
In which case they don't care. They're like, I was watching this video from Jordan Sentry. He says, if that New York Times writer's room had at least one black employee in the pitching room when they're pitching their stories for the day, this story would have never gotten made. I'm like, yes, it would have. Wouldn't have mattered. There probably was. Plenty. It wouldn't have mattered. When they find a story that's more important, they will throw aside their ideological causes if it means that they can talk about what is going to actually get them clicks.
Yeah, and that's right now, that's Taylor Swift.
Exactly. So,
and I think it's reasonable to say Taylor Swift is at the peak of her career right now, unless that peak hasn't even come yet. And Beyonce is past her prime.
Yeah.
In her career, at least. And she's already won 33 Grammys. Someone pointed out, having 33 Grammys and crying for more is the greed God was talking about in the Bible.
Yeah.
Totally, completely true.
And they also point out that the stat that they came up with was ridiculous because they had to boil it down to black women
So
when there are
stupid.
plenty of black men who have won Grammy for Album of the Year. Lots of them.
It's not
Michael
about
Jackson,
the number of Grammys she has. It's about how black women are constantly working 10 times harder only to receive half the recognition of their white counterparts.
I saw a lot of people saying that maybe Jay-Z got caught cheating on Beyonce again, and this is his mea culpa for cheating once again.
I mean, she wrote a whole album about how he had an affair, and she was mad about it. She made a whole diss track album against her own husband and then didn't leave him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of anticlimactic.
Did you see that new home they bought? That place was enormous.
They're more like business partners.
I mean, that's how I feel about a lot of these relationships, to be honest. But yeah, it's not just that. It's not just this. We also have what she did to Lana Del Rey.
I think that this is a travesty, and I'm not over it. I'm not going to be over it. Taylor Swift completely humiliated Lana Del Rey when she was doing her acceptance speech for Album of the Year, and I'll tell you why. I didn't realize this when it happened, but Lana was also nominated for Album of the Year. She lost to Taylor, and instead of just letting Lana stay in her seat, Taylor Swift dragged Lana Del Rey up on stage with her to make her stand in the background during her acceptance speech for the award that Lana lost.
That's insane.
And you can see that Lana clearly did not want to be on that stage. She was holding on to chairs, trying to get Taylor not to drag her up. And I just thought this was some classic mean girl, narcissist behavior. I compared her to a homecoming queen, a mean girl homecoming queen vibe. Because there's the theory that you freeze at the age and maturity you were when you started getting famous. For Taylor Swift, that's age 16, and that's how old she acts, even though she's 34 years old. So that faux surprised look that she gave after winning the award, and then dragging Lana on stage to stand in the background while she clearly did not want to be there, that's some classic 16-year-old mean girl behavior that you would see in like a movie.
Yeah.
And I just can't get over it. It's like, I don't know. She just seems like very socially inept. Like, how would you not understand?
I did not know that she was nominated for an award.
I didn't either. And yeah, and then she gave her this little nod in the middle of her acceptance speech. Taylor Swift said, "I think so many female artists would not be where they are and would not have the inspiration they have. Thank you.
Thank you.
If it weren't for the work that she's done." Lana Del Rey. I think she's a legacy artist, a legend in her prime right now.
But not as good as me, she says.
But not as good as me because I won the award and I'm in my prime right now.
It doesn't help that she's like a tall, leggy blonde.
Of course not. And I mean, clearly it's just so ironic that Taylor Swift is naming her album The Tortured Poets Society, because Lana Del Rey is like the definition of a tortured poet. She literally put out a spoken word poetry album that no one cared about. And she's criminally underrated, which is part of her brand.
Crispy Leg Transport LLC says, breaking news. I'm cooking a pot roast and baking chicken. Half dozen chicken legs. I bet Jay-Z can't do that.
I love being in the background while you cook chicken.
Yes.
That's fun. Also, I wanted to read out some tracks from...
Andrina says she acknowledged Lana in her contributions at the beginning of her speech. Yes, she should have done that while Lana was left to be in her chair.
Yeah,
she
I
should
still
not have
think
just
that
dragged her up on stage to say, sit in the background while I also acknowledge you and make you feel like less than.
She acknowledged Lana because Lana was featured on one of the songs on Midnights. So I understand mentioning her, but I don't know, just drawing attention to someone who just lost the award that you won. I feel like it's just classic textbook covert narcissist behavior.
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, people point this out whenever she goes out to dinner with her friends, it just looks like a mean girl clique.
Yeah, literally. Like, she's always just gallivanting about the city, going to dinner and gossiping about their boyfriends like she's a teenage girl.
Terrence Rice is correct. Del Rey is va-va-voom.
She is.
Yes, she is. She
always has
is.
been. So here's the track list for Taylor Swift's new album. I'll just mention some. The Tortured Poets Department, self-titled. My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. Down Bad. So Long London. But Daddy I Love Him. Fresh Out the Slammer. Guilty as Sin. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? I Can Fix Him. Parentheses, no, really, I can.
Would that make these the Harry Styles song? I'm sorry, would they make these the Maddie Healy songs then, given the time frame?
I think given the time frame, it's around her breakup with Joe Alwyn, who is also British.
The idea of the billionaire tortured poet is hilarious.
The Tortured Billionaires Department.
But I was a millionaire when I wrote them, not a billionaire. I was much more tortured when I was a millionaire rather than a billionaire.
Lana Del Rey is really bad at marketing herself and promoting her work, which means she, in my opinion, she's a better artist because she doesn't understand the business side of the industry. And that's why she's so underrated. And that's what makes her the tortured poet. So it's just really ironic to me that Taylor Swift is out here calling herself a tortured poet when she in fact is a billionaire with 2 private jets.
Well, it's just very hard to imagine. Yeah, it's just very hard for people to buy into the tortured artist act when you're basically a product now.
Yeah. Here were some tweets. Dragging Lana to the stage was such a mean girl move disguised as a look at me, I'm a girl's girl, I'm so quirky facade. Taylor Swift dragging Lana Del Rey to the stage after Lana lost the award to her was so uncomfortable to watch. Sorry. And then a Swiftie swooped in and said, this is the closest Lana will ever come to being on a stage that honors talent, let alone near a Grammy Gold. And you're mad at Taylor for doing charity work. Just like when she gave Lana the highest charting song of her career, the one that she was featured on Midnights. Not factually correct, but they're really mad about this. And Taylor Swift is still getting a lot of backlash for it, as she should. Another one said, I'm sorry, Taylor Swift dragging Lana on stage felt so wrong. She clearly didn't want to go up there, and she just stood there like a prop for her. Taylor, you will be dealt with.
Okay, that's a little extreme. But also
you will be dealt with.
Just after like pretending like Celine Dion doesn't exist.
And yeah, that plus the Celine Dion thing.
Yep.
It's all adding up, and I know the Celine Dion thing got blown out of proportion, but as you said yesterday, when you're the queen, there's no room for mistakes.
You can't make mistakes. People are looking to knock you off the pedestal.
Yeah, and I could tell that the way people were clapping for her at her album announcement was like, I hate her. Like they can't stand her.
To be expected when you're of her level of fame.
She was the alpha woman, asserting her dominance, like marking her territory. She like lifted up her leg like a chihuahua and peed all over the stage at the Grammys to assert dominance over all of the other artists.
And they're like, and she's like, just take it, ladies.
And like the reality is, the mean girls who are in movies, in like adults who play teenagers in movies, they're like obviously comically mean and evil and villainous, but in real life, the mean girls are the nice ones. the homecoming queen, the prom queen, they're actually nice. They're just really good at hiding when they are mean.
Yeah.
And I think Taylor Swift fits that description perfectly.
Which is worse.
It is worse.
Because
it's so much harder to even call her out, and you feel like you're the crazy one.
On top of being a billionaire and like business mogul.
And you have to stay friends with her. You have to stay in her good graces.
Yep.
If you're in Lana Del Rey's position.
Thanks, Regina.
Yeah, she also like stole Jack Antonoff, the producer. Taylor Swift basically stole Jack Antonoff from Lana Del Rey as a producer for her album. And he was on stage as well, just laughing it up. And you can see Lana just in the background looking sad.
I'm trying to think of like of that happening in any other, like where somebody gets dragged on stage to like not win. Right?
I freaking despise the girl's girl mentality. Like, you have to support other women, but only performatively.
Well, yeah.
Like, there was this
nobody
video.
Nobody buys that when they talk about it.
Of course not.
Because if they did it, they would just do it. They wouldn't talk about it.
Right. Yeah. And they wouldn't have it posted all over social media. And there was this video from the Grammys where Taylor Swift is fixing Lana Del Rey's hair backstage before they went out. And I don't know what it was, but it was just something about that interaction that I could tell, like, she's asserting her power or something. I mean, I guess kudos to her for being the alpha.
There's like if you go on Instagram and you try to put up like a story post, you know, you can post like a GIF underneath it with text, and you just type in women, like all the things that come up are like women supporting women, like queen support. Like it is all this fake performative women's support of one another, when society has always shown that that's just not what it's actually like when you talk about what human interaction actually is.
Yeah.
That's just not what it's like. And there's nothing wrong with that inherently. If anything, that makes actual support of one another more special when people actually support one another.
Mm-hmm. That's why the Mean Girls movie was so popular.
Yeah.
It's because it showed that men aren't actually the problem when it comes to women not getting along with each other.
Yep.
Women actually, like, toxic femininity actually is to blame when women can't get along.
But I suppose that's not all, because she's now being stalked
Yes.
by an environmentalist, by a climate activist.
Taylor Swift is planning to sue a 21-year-old college student named Jack Sweeney because he runs an account that tracks the movements of her private jets. She has 2 of them, by the way. This same kid got banned on X in late 2022 because he was doing the same thing to Elon Musk. And Elon thought that this threatened his safety because he was posting assassination coordinates of him.
Which is a little hyperbolic.
You're being a little melodramatic if that's what you think.
Maybe Elon Musk maybe it's more risky for Elon Musk than Taylor Swift. I don't know. But like the point is that the data posted is always going to be at least 24 hours out of date.
Right. It's on a 24-hour delay, and it doesn't post the exact coordinates.
Does this count as doxing?
No.
Does not count as doxing?
Because according to Jack Sweeney, who runs the account, this is all publicly available information anyway.
Yep.
It's not like he's going through some illegal means to find out the movements of her private jet. It's already all there.
He's just
posting it and making it more accessible.
Making it more accessible to people.
Yeah, so
look, it's like in this one, because he's a climate, I'm guessing that it's the climate activist agenda of all of it means that there are no winners here. I think everybody sucks.
I think that both Jack Sweeney, the climate activist, and Taylor Swift are drunk with power, both of them. This kid is 21. He's a student at the University of Central Florida, and I'm sure that he's adding this to his resume. I'm sure, because this is how he's making an impact as a climate activist. He just got a cease and desist letter from Taylor Swift's legal team saying they would have no choice but to pursue any and all legal remedies if he doesn't stop his, quote, stalking and harassing behavior. He says the accounts caused Swift and her family direct and irreparable harm, as well as emotional and physical distress because he heightened her constant state of fear for her physical safety.
Is it that, or is it that it's bad publicity for her to use her private jet all the time?
Well, he notes that the time when he received this letter back in December is when she was getting a heightened response over her CO2 emissions.
And what's funny about this is like her fans and climate activists, there's a whole lot of overlap on that Venn diagram there, ladies and gentlemen.
Who's more crazy, Swifties or climate activists?
Put them together and you have a deadly combination. We have a $20 one here from Dr. Tran. Says the FAA data is public. What he said was that his flight logs were personal data. Real talk? Question mark, he asks. Stop playing Dogecoin if you don't want to be a public figure.
What is playing Dogecoin mean?
I don't know if that's, I think that might be in reference to the Elon Musk part of it.
Oh, okay.
And then $20 one from Bucky Ducky says, the public info defense for doxing flight data is so bad. Your house info is publicly available. Anyone can watch who pulls out of your driveway and post it all online.
I mean, I wouldn't say that that's equally public information, right? Because that's happening on your private property, whereas the ground control information is already on the internet.
It's definitely not good things to have out there for somebody like Taylor Swift, who has had to deal with stalkers in the past and has had plenty of deranged people who want to get close to her. So perhaps it does fill her with a sense of dread. But given that the data is 24 hours in delay, I think that she's also more worried about her public image, personally.
Yeah, here was his own defense of his actions. He said, I think it's important to note that nowhere do I intend for harm. I actually think that Taylor Swift has some good songs. I believe in transparency and public information. And he added that
what if he offered
the letter was sent back when she was getting an increased amount of backlash for her private jet use. And here's another statement from her legal team. While this may be a game to you or an avenue that you will hope to earn your wealth and fame, it's a life or death matter for Taylor Swift. She added, there is no legitimate interest in or public need for this information other than to stalk, harass, and exert dominion and control.
I disagree with just about everything that was said here. I don't think he's doing it for wealth or fame. I think he's doing it because he actually is a climate activist, most likely, given that he's in college, right? And
I would say it's mixed.
But I also don't believe that that there's no interest for the information. I think there's actually a lot of interest for the information.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's even scarier. Right? Like, it's like, I don't actually agree with their point, but it doesn't mean it's less scary. I think there's actually interest. There's interest for everything she does from fans and naysayers alike.
There is interest in her movements, in what cities she's arriving in, but there's also genuine interest in her environmental impact.
So if it's about the emissions, right? Would the better idea here if he could just tabulate the amount, but then not post the locations, would that be better?
I mean, I suppose, but I really don't think he has an obligation not to post the locations if it's already publicly available data. And when asked whether they knew of any evidence that stalkers had used the jet tracking accounts, a spokeswoman for Taylor Swift said, "We cannot comment on any ongoing police investigation, but we can confirm the timing of stalkers suggests a connection. His posts tell you exactly when and where she would be." And that's not true because of the 24-hour delay.
I think I would actually prefer they didn't post her locations and they just, like, if it's about the environmental aspect, I have no problem with tracking her emissions, though I think it's a stupid waste of your time, and I think that the whole thing is ridiculous. I kind of have more of a problem with actually posting her locations.
But that's already public data.
Again, make it harder for people to get to. Like, they talk about how stalkers used to use, like, the people finding services and like tracking apps and like social media to track people down. But would you want somebody publicly posting your profile for everybody if you keep your information private? Like, I just don't think it's necessary. But I'm also not going to shed tears for something like this because she's a celebrity, and unfortunately the issues that you're gonna have to deal with as a celebrity just mean that you're gonna have to deal with a whole new class of crazy.
I think that Elon was also being way too dramatic about it, saying that this guy was trying to get him assassinated and using that to boot him off of the platform that's supposed to be a free speech platform, a public town square, when that clearly wasn't his intention and it didn't result in any public safety threats. And also Jack Sweeney told the Post that he thought this cease and desist letter was being used as a scare tactic.
It is.
To save her public reputation. He said this information is already out there and her team thinks that they can control the world. And he said that private jet flights are routinely criticized for their disproportionately high impact on climate change. And his accounts have been used to name and shame famous passengers. It was also argued that this data doesn't exactly reflect the truth of her own impact because she loans out her private jets to other people often.
Like, if I'm being honest, like I wouldn't want people tracking my every move either. Like, I guess that's kind of the way I look at it. But again, you have to make that judgment call. Like, do I want all the benefits that come with being like if you're somebody who's found that level of success, that level of fame? Are you willing to put your personal safety at risk for the sake of the money, the success, the fame, all the good that comes with it, right? She's certainly taken the steps she needs to ensure her public safety. She has the Mossad IDF security, head of security and stuff like that. So I don't know, like, it's, to me, the carbon emissions are a hilarious side part of it, but I wouldn't want this stuff being left, put out there about me. I get that it's public information, but I don't know.
What would we say about paparazzi? What would we say about this guy who was dumpster diving outside of Taylor Swift's apartment? What would we say about the fact that she had AI porn made of her? It comes with the territory of being a public figure. So does people tracking your movements around the globe.
Tim Pool has thoughts on this. If you've ever heard of him, he's kind of a big deal. Says, I would insist on Taylor Swift doubling the global atmospheric carbon concentration. If it meant otherwise, she could not see Kelsey win the Super Bowl. These haters telling her not to fly private just don't want her to be happy.
So true. They hate to see her
winning.
winning.
They just don't want to see her winning. It's just an interesting thing to see done, because it's just like, for most of us, it's just never going to be something we have to worry about, right? Like, we're just never going to have to worry about. I'm very lucky in that I will never have to be a public figure, so I will never have to worry about people caring about where I am at any given time, especially since where I am is either at work, at the grocery store, or at Sheetz to get food, and that's about it. So my life isn't interesting.
I don't know. I think that's a totally different. That's apples and oranges, basically, because Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift, and nothing about her life is private. At least that's what it seems to me.
It's also interesting because, like, there's plenty of celebrities that fly private. Like, there's plenty of them. What is it? Travis? Who's Travis Scott with? One of the Kardashians.
Yeah,
was he with Kylie?
With Kylie.
Okay, they both had private.
Was.
Like, I remember they had a picture of both of them next to their separate private jets.
Yeah.
Track them.
I'm sure they also get hate for their emissions stuff, but I don't know. I think that he's annoying because he's a climate activist. Taylor Swift is annoying because she constantly plays the victim. It's clearly that he is trying to get wealth and fame, at least fame, because he started this when he was in high school.
Yeah.
He started the Elon jet tracker when he was a high school student. He clearly wants to get attention for this and become some kind of Greta Thunberg persona in the climate activist movement. And they're all really annoying and drunk with power. And
it's very hard for the average person to feel a lot of sympathy for a celebrity. It just is. Mm-hmm. Like, they're like, look, you took the deal. You get the money, you get the fame, you get the bad stuff that comes with it. You're not going to see many people shedding tears for them. Actually, that's not true, because she's got gazillions of fans who will shed tears for it. But you're not going to see an average person shed tears for her over this. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to Super Chat, shall we?
All right. Shane H. Wilder said, Happy Taco Tuesday, Brett and Mary. I hope you enjoyed your Cosmics Cafe coffee, even if it was run by some weird alien.
Oh, we should go to a Cosmics at some point. We have to find one.
Well, there are only like 3, right? Do they even exist yet?
Probably not out here.
Yeah. Bucky Ducky.
We did that one.
Oh, Shane H. Wilder said, I've bullied people into subscribing all week. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. We're getting very close.
Every subscriber counts.
We are getting very close to 100,000.
Everything
very
helps.
Excited.
Bucky Ducky said, 100% y'all are calming. if I listened to IRL or Culture War, I would literally explode.
Look, I'm kind of the same way. Like when people talk about politics these days, I think the reason it's not so much that it's not what they're saying, it's not how they're saying it. It's that when I listen to people talk about politics, or even when I go on IRL, like I'm just like, and there's nothing I can do about this. And there's nothing that can be done. Like yesterday, they're talking about the loophole that was in this border bill. And I'm like, and nothing will be done. Nothing will change. All of this stuff is going to keep happening. The media is going to keep running cover for evil politicians. Evil politicians will continue to enrich themselves while destroying the country they were sworn to work in the best interests of. Why would I want to, like, I get that a lot of people that invigorates them, that gets them, like, that makes them want to fight harder. It doesn't fill me with that same level of drive. It just makes me depressed.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, thanks for that black pill. Brian Evans said, I was honored to have Toby Keith come to my base while I was deployed in Iraq in 2006. It wasn't exactly a safe place. We'll miss him very much.
Rest in peace.
Solo 19 said, video game controller poses triumphantly. Oh, is this a sticker?
Yes.
I think it was a sticker. Okay. They like transcribe it on the spreadsheet. Shane H. Wilder said, trigger hit PD this year. He should be in it.
Public domain, I believe.
Oh, Tigger, not trigger.
Yep. All right, let's hold off on the rest and we'll come back. Let's talk about this Bollywood actress, shall we?
Yes, there is a Bollywood star named Poonam Pandey who just faked her own death for clicks. Or I guess it wasn't just for clicks. It was actually for activism, which makes it even worse. And it pissed a lot of people off. I had never heard of this woman before, but apparently she's kind of into the like soft core content.
Bollywood erotic actress Poonam Pandey decided that the best way to spread awareness for cervical cancer was to fake her own death over the weekend and piss a lot of people off.
Yeah, Barstool said she boasts over 1 million Instagram followers, so she's not a nobody by any means. People seem to like her work, and if you look hard enough on the internet, there are clips of her wearing 0 clothes. So this is exactly the credible voice that you needed to promote your cause, which is cervical cancer awareness. Here is a quote from her death announcement on Instagram. This morning is a tough one for us. Deeply saddened to inform you that we have lost our beloved Poonam to cervical cancer. Every living form that ever came into contact with her was met with pure love and kindness.
Here's what she looks
like. In
like
this time of grief, we request our privacy while we remember her fondly for all that we shared.
Here's what she looks like, if you were wondering.
Yes, there she is.
Well, look, guys, I know personally that I always say that you have to be, it's not enough to just not be an activist. You should be actively anti-activist. I might make an exception for her. I'm just saying. Maybe not.
So a day later, it was announced that her death wasn't real.
Nope.
It was all fake, and it was to start a conversation about cervical cancer. She did this in collaboration with a media company called Hotterfly and a digital marketing agency called Shebang. And they released a statement saying, yes, we were involved in the initiative for Poonam Pandey to spread awareness about cervical cancer in collaboration with Hotterfly. To start off, we would like to extend a heartfelt apology, especially toward those who have been triggered as a result of having faced or having a loved one face the hardships of any kind of cancer. Our actions were driven by a singular mission to elevate awareness about cervical cancer. In 2022, India registered 123,000 cervical cancer cases and 77,000 deaths. Cervical cancer is the second most frequent malignancy affecting middle-aged women in India.
Yeah.
Many of you have been unaware that Poonam Pandey's own mother has bravely battled cancer. Having been through the challenges of battling a disease like this at such close personal quarters, she understands the importance of prevention and critical awareness, especially when a vaccine is available.
There it is.
There it is. That's what this is all about. She's trying to get women to get the Gardasil vaccine. At least that's my best guess, because Gardasil presumably prevents the contraction of HPV, and persistent HPV went untreated leads to most cases of cervical cancer. So she is trying to raise awareness about this, but claims that no big pharma companies are involved in this and they're not profiting from it, at least not directly.
Dubious claim at best.
Dubious. So they released an article and they also made a website called PoonamPandyIsAlive.com. Yes, she is alive. Apologies for this drastic step, but cervical cancer awareness needed our attention. Thank you, guys.
What's worse, doing it for a cause where all the money is going to end up in people's pockets rather than actual research, or doing it for the release of your new like pop single like Lil Tay?
I would respect it from Lil Tay more, honestly. Because she's saying, you know, this is for awareness. Now look at us. We're all talking about cervical cancer. And I'm like, no, we're all talking about you and your stupidity.
And your stunt.
It didn't actually work the way you wanted it to. And all of the comments are very mad. One person said, I'm happy she's alive, but please arrest her for this drama and publicity stunt. And yeah, they're basically mad that she's trivializing the issue, I guess.
I guess they see it as shock marketing, and shock marketing works a lot of the time to get people, at least the words have come back into people's train of thought, right?
This has kind of pissed people off more than I would think. Someone said, let's mass report her profile. Another said, hate from the bottom of my heart. Wow. Another said, I got my daughter in the ad to spread awareness, but this is not how you spread awareness. Another one said, celebrity? People know you from I'll remove my top if X wins a cricket match, or self-posted sex videos. So she's not exactly someone with a lot of credibility and respect in her culture, as you would guess.
I guess they would probably have a harder time getting somebody more mainstream to be able to do something like this.
Yeah, it's kind of odd to me that people immediately believed the death announcement.
Okay, so who was it? There was a couple of like death announcements that were fake recently that now I can't remember them. They just came up the other day, but I was actually thinking about this because we were discussing what you said. We were discussing about whether it's actually illegal to fake your death or not. And what it said online was basically like, it's not inherently illegal to fake your death, but oftentimes faking your death is partner with the idea of tax fraud,
covering up
a crime, getting away, like evading arrest or something like that. And I was thinking about it, like nowadays when all you're doing it for is social media clout, I wouldn't be surprised to see more people do something like this, because people will do a lot of things to get their name back to the top of the algorithm.
I mean, the time to fake your death for clout is kind of over already, because people are just going to see these things happen over and over again and not believe that it's real. I also got reminded of this story about a TikToker who faked having cancer to scam people out of donations on GoFundMe. And I also saw that back in October, she was not given any prison time. Faker, who claimed she was battling cancer and documented it on TikTok, pocketed GoFundMe donations, breaks down in tears as she is ordered to pay $39,000 in restitution,
all she had
but
to do,
avoids jail after telling the court, I did it to get my family together.
All she had to do was pay back the money she stole.
$39,000. There was only one additional fee of $1,300 on top of that, and no jail time.
That is insane.
I can't possibly understand. I know she's 20 and she's stupid, but I don't know. Being young and stupid usually involves, like, I don't know, drinking, partying, stuff like that. Yep. Not stealing tens of thousands of dollars from people on the internet by pretending that you're terminally ill.
That's insane.
Way worse than what this actress did, obviously, but it's not the way to get the public favor on your side, for sure. And it's not the way to start a conversation about an important social issue.
Well, it's definitely become a thing for people to fake, like, cancers and stuff like that now.
Yeah.
There was the one lady, she went all through it. She had to she shaved her head. She did all the treatments on top of, there was a couple of them last year.
Well,
not just this lady.
Talked about a writer on Grey's Anatomy who faked having cancer to everyone on the show.
To get
and
jobs,
then
to get more work, because Hollywood is part of the woke agenda. It's like you are valued because you have some type of ailment, because you've been through something, rather than
you
valuing
have a story to tell.
Rather than valuing someone for their actual talent.
Right. So she was just exploiting the already exploitative system in Hollywood to begin with. But let's take a look at Poonam Pandy's apology video to announce to everyone that her death was faked.
Is it the first one here? The one in
the
blue?
article?
Okay, here we go.
Yep.
I'm alive.
The dramatic violin.
Dramatic music.
The tiniest violin.
Say that about those hundreds and thousands of women who have lost their lives because of cervical cancer. It is not because they couldn't do anything about it, because they had no idea what to do about it. I'm here to tell you that, unlike other cancers, cervical cancer is preventable. All you have to do is you have to get your tests done and you have to get HPV vaccine. We can do all this.
This is the worst vaccine shilling. This is worse than Travis Kelce's Pfizer
Bro, you have
sponsorship.
1 million followers. Just tell people to do it.
I guess that wouldn't have gotten as much attention.
Please log on to www.poonampandyisalive.com.
This is literally worse than Travis Kelce's Pfizer sponsorship. The lengths that you will go to shill a vaccine.
The money must be great.
I don't know. She's claiming that she wasn't paid for this. She's claiming that no pharma corporation was involved.
Maybe I'm wrong.
And it's just because it's so personally important to her due to the fact that her mother battled cancer.
Her bold act aims to a spotlight on the urgency of regular screenings, early detection, and the power of knowledge in conquering this silent threat. Join us in celebrating her resilience.
Okay,
her resilience and spreading this crucial message.
Let's just be honest. This chick is not really an actress. She's a porn star. And no one respects you anyway. So why are you trying to be some kind of important, sincere activist for an important cause?
Yep.
No one is listening to you, especially something that involves vaginas. No one can talk about your vagina in a different context than porn because you are a porn star.
And the shock market, I really don't think stuff like this is going to go away. I think that people have such short memories these days that they'll see the immediate benefit of doing something like this as worthwhile, because a lot of people will end up forgetting. What will happen is people will forget, and then there will be a couple of comments in a year on every video that says, "Aren't you the chick who faked her death?"
Yeah, she'll get that forever.
But I'm not going to lie. I do actually find it maybe more abhorrent to do it for activism than to do it for capitalism. I would rather okay, guys, here's my statement for the day. Fake your death for capitalism, not for activism.
So you would say Lil Tay, she gets the stamp of approval.
Yes.
Poonam Pandy,
thumbs down.
Thumbs down. You lost this time. She's kind of posting apology video after apology video at this point, but is sticking to her guns and says that she did it because it's really important.
Olivia Claire in the chat says, it makes me not want to support a cause. Yeah, I think that would be a large part of the response to something like this, would be people saying like, look, just because what you did is so stupid and clearly emotionally manipulative, that we're not going to do that. Don't these celebrities always talk about how their social media platforms are their chance to connect with their fans in a very real way? Well, then you're using your fans' emotional connection with you in a very real way, and I don't think a lot of them will appreciate it. It's kind of like, remember when everyone was doing the thing where they would tell their boomer parents some celebrity had died?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they record their reaction because...
You think many of those parents felt good about that, about being humiliated on TV?
Well...
Or on their phones?
On TikTok.
On their TikTok?
Yeah. It's kind of
on their
mean.
internets?
I mean, I laughed at it, but it was mean.
Yeah. Like, hey, boomer.
Usually the public roots against cancer, but not here. People don't like feeling stupid. I've lost track of who's advising Pandy these days, but they for sure need to all be jailed. She's got to go to jail. Everyone got to go to jail. I'm no doctor, but faking your own death and making everyone sad to reveal only 24 hours later it was just a prank, bro, is probably not the best way to promote cancer awareness. I'm all for cancer awareness. We all need to get checked regularly, but this one is tough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This was on her Instagram story. It says, perhaps she had succeeded in achieving her objective. Cervical cancer has trended on X, formerly known as Twitter, as had the fact that it's treatable. I, for a fact, know people who signed up for preventative checkups. In a day, Pandy got more people to learn about cervical cancer than the medical community has through conventional campaigns in decades. Source, bro?
Where's the source?
Like, I'm going to need a source on that one.
I didn't see cervical cancer trending.
Now people are like looking it up because they're pissed about it. And they're like, nah, I want to find out how I can give you cervical cancer because you're such a dick.
I'm just skeptical of the idea that she did this without a paycheck from some NGO, some kind of pharma company.
Look, if she's genuinely like some type of saint, I'm sure that that's fantastic. But most people are going to press X to doubt on that. Mm-hmm. They're not going to buy it. Sorry.
You're going to start seeing stan accounts for cervical cancer now.
She's been
you just made me pro cervical cancer.
She's been posting some defenses of her on her story. It says, in defense of Poonam Pandy, a controversial figure has often been at the center of media attention. While her recent publicity stunt involving faking her own death was widely condemned, it is important to acknowledge that she has been involved in charitable work and has used her platform to raise awareness about social issues. I hate it already. I want celebrities to come out against social issues. I want them to come out and be like, look, I am pro cervical cancer. That's what she should say. Okay, I'm happy.
Okay, that's a little bit too far.
But the point is, I'm so sick of because it's never like, until you can completely divorce the ability to gain clout from these causes as a celebrity, it's very hard to buy into anyone actually caring. It just is. Mm-hmm. Like, I get it. I guess her mom died from cancer. So I guess there is a connection there.
I don't know. I think this is going to be a hard lesson for her about clout chasing on the internet. People are tired of it.
I don't know. All right, let's go to super chats then, shall we? We're pretty early, so we'll just hang out until 5.
Okay. Gordon Shumway said Vanessa Williams was stripped of Miss America in 1984 because she posed for Penthouse. Ooh. Okay.
Wait, so they didn't know before?
That would literally never happen today.
The days before the internet.
Yeah. Not that Jon Stewart said, I patiently await Ben making a speed metal song so he doesn't have to talk slower.
He can do that.
Not sure said Tim and Eric made comedy, MDE made art. Disco Jensen said, getting my Weird Al collection up before he's canceled for making a song about fat people.
Look,
LOL.
that song is still a masterpiece to this day. And as far as I know, now someone can correct me if I'm wrong, up until just a couple of years ago, he might still do it. He would perform that song in a fat suit, which I don't know if you'd be allowed to do today. If he still does, I give him the seal of approval on that for still doing it in a fat suit. When I sit around
did Daniel Radcliffe have to?
I don't know if he had. I didn't watch the Roku movie. He's like, but you should go listen to that song. Those old Weird Al songs are fantastic.
Hiroshima Otaru said, oh, I don't know if I can say this.
Prawn.
I don't know. I don't know if we're supposed to say that on air.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can co-sign that one.
I get where you're coming from.
He's saying revenge.
Yeah. He just thinks
F around and find out.
F around and find out. Yeah.
Yeah.
T-Dog said Rachel and Peter won. HG and Wonka made bank.
In relation to what?
I don't know.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Shane H. Wilder said there was a Jewish country band called Kinky Friedman and the Texas Jew Boys with songs like The Ballad of Charles Whitman and Asshole from El Paso.
That sounds awesome.
Is this a real thing?
That sounds awesome, and I need to listen to it now.
Okay. The Last of My Kind.
We got a $20 one here from Dreamcast Night. Says, it happens today, Mary. Miss Teen Delaware. You want to look up Miss Teen Delaware? See what this is all about?
Okay.
Let's look what happened to Miss Teen Delaware.
This is from today?
Oh, yeah. I think he's saying like today as in these days. Like he's saying it's no longer a thing of the past. Like you'll still get in trouble for it.
Well, let's see.
Yes,
I don't see any
Miss
coverage.
Teen Delaware 2013. Melissa King, the brunette, resigned from her reign as Miss Teen Delaware after her alleged sex tape surfaced. While she denied the woman in the film was her, she gave up her tiara shortly after the scandal.
Wow. I hope that she was an adult. that happened.
2013. Let's hope that she was not underage at that time.
Yeah. I mean, but still, I would argue that our culture has changed actually so much since 2013 even, that today I don't think those morality clauses would be considered, at least not in the US.
Well, I wonder if, here's the thing. I wonder if it would be, if it was a tape, like that was supposed, like if it was like a private video that was meant to stay private and went public, would be actually treated differently than just choosing to do OF and pretending to be proud of it.
Sure, yeah.
Right?
The last of my kind said Katy Perry was a backing vocals for POD.
Well,
yeah, she was a Christian singer before.
That makes perfect sense.
Disco Jensen said, if I woke as Tay-Tay for one day, I'd Venmo myself a couple million, then get on social media and endorse Trump.
Wait, just a couple million?
Yeah, like, why stop there?
Wait, also,
go big or go home.
What's the maximum Venmo amount you can send at
Probably
one time?
way less than that.
I don't know.
You have to wire transfer like at least 100 mil. Right?
Like what is the, like, can you just, does it run out of zeros? It
won't even set her back that much. She would get back to billionaire status in a matter of months.
Yep.
She'd be just fine. Jacob Edler said they've already done a 10 out of 10 female-led Pirates movie. R.I.P. Jessie Jane.
Yeah, she just passed away a couple weeks ago.
Very unfortunate.
Her and her boyfriend both overdosed.
Corey Anderson said, if Hollywood would like me to spend my money on movies, I want another Master and Commander.
That was like what? The 90s, early 2000s.
It's been a while since he spent money on movies then. Urashima Otaru said, so Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce again?
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he got caught.
But we don't know yet.
But we don't know. And he's like, honey, I'm gonna make you feel better. I promise. I'm gonna stick up for you.
It's just because Kanye wasn't at the Grammys this time, someone had to get up there and defend Beyonce for no reason. Bucky Ducky said, Jay-Z, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce.
That's basically what he did. There was also like a meme going around yesterday that says Kanye was trying to save us from this madness, and now y'all treated him like the bad guy.
It's true. I mean, he was factually right when people don't really listen to what he said. He said Beyonce had one of the greatest music videos of all time. I disagree with that. He was referring to the Single Ladies music video, which lost to Taylor Swift's music video for You Belong With Me, which was a cute teeny bopper thing, but Single Ladies, if you take a look at it, it definitely is like a better music video, just artistically speaking.
I would send us the cursed deep fake Kanye singing You Belong With Me, but it'll get us copyrighted. It's not just him singing it, it's Kanye deep faked as Taylor Swift in the video. I encourage everyone to go look it up.
That's Teardrops on My Guitar.
I'm sorry, Teardrops on My Guitar. And it's the greatest thing ever, but it will instantly get us demonetized.
Disco Jensen said, I can't name one Beyonce album, and the only song of hers I can name is Single Ladies. Mom, Dukes, and Sister played it.
There you go. Name
a Beyonce album. Go.
Lemonade.
Okay, that's fine.
I can only do that because Xavier mentioned it yesterday. That's literally the only, I would never be able to. I wouldn't be able to name you a Taylor Swift album name, probably.
Really? No, go for it now.
Well, I have the
No, don't look it up. Don't look it up. Try
1989.
See, you know it.
Okay.
Roma Nation said ever since Beyonce allowed Swift to come back on stage and have her moment after Kanye stage bombed her, it's been all downhill from there.
She wakes up at night just in cold sweats regretting that moment.
I should have defended Kanye.
Why did I do that?
Disco Jensen said black women forgot Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, Diana Ross, and Janet Jackson all swept the Grammys in their time.
Yeah, but what they're saying is that none of them have won 4, as many as her.
So until...
Well, actually, no. I can pull up the list right here. I've got the list of Grammy Award of the people who have won Album of the Year. Here it is. So in the last 4 years, we've got Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift, John Batiste, Harry Styles, Taylor Swift again. And then before that, Casey Musgraves, Bruno Mars, Adele, Taylor Swift, Beck, Daft Punk, Mumford & Sons, Adele, Arcade Fire. That one always surprised me, too.
2011, though.
Yeah, Taylor
Makes
Swift.
Sense.
And then under that, Robert Plant and Alison Krauss, Herbie Hancock, Dixie Chicks, U2, Ray Charles, Outkast, Norah Jones, Various, because it was the soundtrack to Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Slow Year that year. Steely Dan, Santana, and then you get into the late 90s. Lauryn Hill, Bob Dylan, Celine Dion, Alanis Morissette, Tony Bennett, Whitney Houston, Eric Clapton, Natalie Cole, Quincy Jones, Bonnie Raitt.
We used to be a country.
We did. Look at how much more diverse the music styles were. George Michael, U2, Paul Simon, Phil Collins, Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, Toto, John Legend, and Yoko Ono. Yep. Christopher Cross, Billy Joel, and then going all the way back to Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Wonder, Paul Simon, Stevie Wonder again a third time, Carole King, Simon and Garfunkel, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Like, we used to be a country.
Now it's all of the winners at this point are generic radio pop.
Yep.
They're Billboard Hot 100 all the way through. There's no actual diversity of art. We're only expecting racial diversity.
Yes, but they have to make the same types of music.
Pat the Plumber said, "How dare you call Tay-Tay a mean girl? Mary Morgan, you are so canceled." Oh no.
I love the idea of
I'm
Taylor
worried about
Swift
it now.
getting particularly angry at you and starting like an internet flame war with you.
I would live for that. Yeah.
Queen.
I would definitely get torn apart in the replies, but that's fine.
But you'd have fun with it.
Yeah. Dr. Tran said, didn't Nancy Pelosi use the same reason to shut down a dude on Twitter who tracked her trades?
Oh, I thought that app still existed, the Nancy Pelosi trade tracker thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should be doing that. If the evil, corrupt, awful politicians are going to enrich themselves, you should be allowed to enrich yourselves off the information that is used by the evil, corrupt, awful politicians.
Urashima Otaru said cervical and anus cancer are caused by getting HPV.
There you go. So it's particular to the industry, perhaps?
Yeah, that's why it's really important to her. Corey Anderson said, do women shave their armpits as often as men shave their faces?
I don't shave.
They probably shave their armpits more often than men shave their faces.
I don't shave very often, though I am due to shave my face. Though, of course, I was recently reminded of like going on IRL right after I dyed my hair blonde and had just shaved completely for the first time in like 6 months.
It wasn't giving.
And that was one of the more like, I have a picture of it, and
Ooh.
I would like,
and in that lighting too.
I would like there to be some way for me to actually go into my brain and have that like removed from like
Eternal sunshine of the spotless
because
mind.
I was not supposed to be on IRL that night, and I kid you not, I have just like literally finished shaving, did the thing where you go, oh wow, nice. No, I don't want to. And then I'm like looking at my hair and I'm like, no, I don't want to. I look ridiculous.
Now they're gonna go find the episode.
It was not good.
Bucky Ducky said, Mary, you are forever a porn star based. Well, I don't know if that's word for word what I said, but
it's kind of what you said.
I mean, basically it's like, if you are a porn actress and you are trying to raise awareness about something that is related to vaginas, people are probably not going to pay attention to what you're saying.
Well, looking at like, what if it had been for breast cancer?
That too. Okay, there's a reason why they don't go to porn stars to be social activists.
We had a
until recently.
We had a $20 one from Gordon Shumway. Says they did not know about Vanessa Williams before she won Miss America. She did nude pictures before, and Penthouse bought the pictures after she won. That's when she was stripped. Goes to show your past can haunt you. Yes, it can.
That's crazy that they can buy those pictures.
Yep.
Corey Anderson said, Mary, do you believe that Mary Magdalene was a prostitute? No, I believe that was fake news.
What did they say about her? So
it's just a very popular belief.
Why did they say that?
Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, because there are different Marys that get mixed up in scripture. But it's just more so a culturally popular belief. Once you actually look for evidence of it, it doesn't really add up. Shane H. Wilder said, I mean, porn and big pharma go hand in hand. They're both degradations to society. True. Shane H. Wilder said the Texas Jew Boys were real. They also had a song called Get Your Biscuits in the Oven and Your Buns in the Bed. LOL.
Was there ever a collaboration between the Texas Jew Boys and the Bloodhound Gang? If not, that should have been a thing.
And Corey Anderson said that last movie I spent money on was Cats.
Oof.
What? I mean, like,
I feel bad for you, man. Why would you do
I
that to
understand why you swore off Hollywood after watching Cats, but at the same time, why did you go to see Cats? Like, why did you give away your hard-earned money to see that monstrosity?
yourself? Why would anyone do that?
I hope that you're emotionally recovered from that by now. Are there any more?
There's one more here from organizedbusinessservices.com. Says R.I.P. Toby Keith, and is Mary sitting on a book again?
I think maybe you see me as taller because I'm not wearing black.
Yeah. It doesn't blend in against the chair as much.
Yeah.
Chat, how you doing? Because we're through all the super chats now. We're just going to hang out until I'd like to get
We're just going to do a subathon until we reach 100K.
That'd be great if we
however long it
If we could
takes.
end up doing that, if we could end up getting that amount today. We got one here from Urashima Utaru, says a pope in the 500s misspoke about Mary Magdalene. Is that true?
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was like the origin of the misconception there.
So chat, it's your time to shine now, because we're just gonna hang out until I would love to be able to get to 100,000 before. Like, here's the thing, guys. If we get to 100,000 by Friday, we will not be doing like an extended stream on Friday. I've got somewhere to be over the weekend, so I have to cut out of here right at 5 so that I can do the editing.
But we also have guests on Friday that
might not want to
sign up for being on here for 5 hours.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That would be a little bit rude of us.
Why You Here says put the People's Joker on repeat till 5 a.m.
Oh, we could do that.
Just like leave the stream up and just hit repeat, and like
we would just have mass unsubscribes.
It was like we'd be down to 70,000 in no time.
We'd be down to like 7,000 in
Probably.
no time.
I would like to think that some of those people would just click off and hope to come back, and then it's not there anymore. But you know, it's and we're gonna be talking more about this Gina Carano thing tomorrow, which is already big in the news. Like, we could do this now if you wanted to, but we can.
Well, I haven't had time to read through this or do any research on it, so we're gonna save it for tomorrow.
Apparently, Elon Musk is funding this lawsuit.
That's crazy.
It's gonna be crazy talking about that.
Yeah, all of the coverage about it is still pretty fresh.
Woden Shot says, no more ballers again on Friday, Brett. Not this week, but hopefully I will be back next week. You guys have no idea how much fun I have going and doing. So if you don't know, Ballers, it's a show that they do on Friday with Shane Davis and Mandy Summers and Dale Keown. They're all comic book creators. They're fantastic. And it's just the perfect level of unhinged for me and my awful degenerate sense of humor that I love going on that show with those guys. It's so much fun. So we're going to be doing that, not this coming Friday, but next Friday after that, which is going to be a lot of fun. We got one here from Dreamcast Night, says, Miss Teen Delaware was 19 and it was a prawn site, not leaked.
Okay. So she was voluntarily doing it.
V White says, Brett dance. There's a poll. There's a poll ready for you. You would not want to see that. That would not be good.
Are you going to end the poll, speaking of which?
Yes, I can do that. And with 77% of the vote, it looks like
climate activists are more annoying than Taylor Swift. That's surprising because you guys really hate Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you guys despise it when we talk about Taylor Swift. So that just shows you how much you hate climate activists.
Respect. Corey Anderson said, my wife is a fan of the music in Cats. That is why.
Well, what's the saying? Happy wife, happy life?
A lot of people hate that phrase.
You do things for love? Well, it's because back in the day, it was done at a time when I think there was more social cohesion, and there was definitely more cohesion between the sexes. So it was seen as more of a good-natured statement that the woman didn't actually have ill intentions.
You want your wife to be happy instead of your wife is a drill sergeant who bosses you around.
The women of old, you could say that statement. If you say that statement to the women of today, it's an act of surrender.
Mm-hmm. Disco Jensen wanted you to end the poll. We got it. Gordon Shumway is next. He said back in the 80s, there was a group called Two Live Jews. They would parody Two Live Crew songs. They had a big hit. Oi, it's so humid.
Dude, we're going to have to go listen to this.
Okay.
We can't do it now. I don't want to get copyrighted, but I'm going to listen to this off air and it's going to be awesome.
We got a $20 one just now from Sir Ranko Productions. Was going to send this yesterday for my birthday, but I was busy with work. Not that that matters much anymore since I'm getting let go for not being productive enough, but here's $1 for every year I've been alive.
Happy birthday, my friend. And I'm sorry that
Happy
that
birthday.
happened.
And were you not productive enough because you were listening to PCC?
If so, like,
sorry.
You should watch us on replay then, if that's what happened. Then I'm sorry about that. It sucks. It's never good to lose your job.
Good luck with, the job search that comes next.
I'm not kidding. There is nothing I hate more than looking for a job. Like, I've stayed at jobs that I've absolutely hated in the past because I just don't like going and looking for work.
And now.
I love my job now. I love my job now. There are
Thank you, guys.
There are things we talk about that drive me absolutely insane.
I can tell. I can tell.
There are absolutely days where, like, by the time we're done, I'm like questioning what does it all mean. But most of the time, I love my job. Like, it's very hard to consider, considering every other type of job I've had has not been like I've done apartment maintenance. My very first job was pushing carts at a gas station or at a grocery store, which is why I found your cart behavior to be so abhorrent. But
you grew to understand it.
Yes. At least you've rationalized it in a way that made sense to me. I don't know if that necessarily makes it okay, but it's rational, and that's fine.
I was lying, guys. I returned my carts almost every time.
You weren't supposed to give that away.
It's all a ruse.
Okay, so there's more here. There's one from Shane H. Wilder.
He said the band's lead singer ran for Texas governor. He ran on smoking cigars and doing nothing.
Honestly, that would probably be better for us. Doing nothing is probably better than what politicians do most of the time, which is actively harm the country.
Yeah, I would love a president who smokes cigars and does nothing. High Voltage 75 said there was once a time when there were party wagers for Brett to go hatless for a show. Now he's giving it away for free.
Well, yes, that's
what happened. You're not blonde anymore, so you like showing off your hair.
I found a decent place to cut my hair.
Okay.
Before there just wasn't a place that was able to actually cut my hair up to.
Take advantage of the fact that you're not going to go bald.
Yes, that is very.
It's a great
good.
advantage in life.
37, so yeah, like
you're definitely not going to lose the hair.
My dad's still got most of his hair. My dad's in his 70s, so I should be fine with that. I do notice that on weeks where the job, we're like, whether it's particularly stressful, we got a bunch going on, I will get like intermittent, like a single gray hair that will then go away.
Well, that's still like pretty good timing for one gray hair to come in.
Yes.
You look good.
Yeah.
You look younger. These bitches want Nikes, said, just want to hear Mary say, why are you gay?
There you go.
There you go.
That's perfect.
Corey Anderson said, Brett, if you wrote a movie, what would it be about? Have you considered this before?
I would never besmirch the good name of writing by pretending like I would be able to come up with an idea that would be good enough to do so.
I see you more as a casting director.
I would love the job of being able to read scripts and find the perfect people to take on those roles.
You'd be good at that.
I would love that.
Writing is hard.
Yes.
It's really hard to do it right.
If I was to go, it would be something Tom Clancy-esque. If I had the discipline to do the research on something like that. Mm-hmm. Something within the spy or military-industrial complex genre. Those are the ones that seem to capture the most interest for me. That's where I find the most enjoyable stories. Or at least to me, they're the ones that I find that the story itself is interesting enough that the personal squabbles of the characters doesn't need to become as important as it does in other types of genres where the story runs out of gas soon and they have to start worrying about the personal lives of the characters. I feel like good espionage and intrigue is something that can almost be ever present, right? It's like you can always come up with a good spy genre theme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The only shows that I've dreamed of producing have been reality show ideas.
I don't,
because I so love reality TV.
What would your dream reality show be?
I'm not.
The hook?
I want to make it so much that I'm not going to say what it is. I can tell you after the show. But I don't want it on a public platform. It's such a good idea. Bucky Ducky said, I want to know, is there a Timcast editor to help with thumbnails, titles, editing, uploading, etc., or is it just the two of y'all?
So what
Inside
it is
Baseball.
We do the I do the segment editing. Mary does the YouTube shorts and the social media editing. We do have Dane uploads our social media clips.
Yeah, he does the uploading.
But
part.
I upload the YouTube segments, and then me and Mary do the she helps me with the clip names and the thumbnail titles.
We agonize over titles and thumbnails
Yes.
for long periods of time every day.
So like what we do is we usually do that before the episode.
Yeah.
And then if the subject goes off the rails and goes a different direction, sometimes we'll change it after the fact, but that very rarely happens. So like a good part of it is like people were talking about this topic the other day about Matt Walsh talking about like how long his work week is. And I'm going to tell you right now, the work week discussion is a losing discussion every single time because everyone is guarded about like, look, I put in a lot of work no matter what your job is. But if you're Matt Walsh and you work 50 hours a week, first of all, people are going to think that all you do is talk for an hour a day and there's no more work to it. There's nothing else you do. But also, like, you're going to have a hard time winning the hearts and minds of people who go out there and do manual labor each and every day of their lives, who break their back to build things or do what they do for a living. And talking about how you work 50 hours a week from an air-conditioned office, even if it is a lot of work, you're just not going to win them over talking about that. But
I think his point was only in response to videos of Gen Z girls who go into, basically desk jobs that are 40-hour a week. And I understand that to a man, doing the same drone-like work every day repeatedly like that, it comes very naturally to them, but it does not come naturally to a 22-year-old girl.
Yeah. And like for like what we do here, the show is like the roughly 2 hours a day. But then most of the day is spent reading up on everything that we're going to talk about. We have to structure everything in an order because here's the thing. Like if you don't get it organized ahead of time, you don't notice it. You don't notice it while you're doing the show because it's all organized how it needs to be. And you've read enough where like if you lose your place, you can from memory hopefully pull. For instance, earlier when I mentioned the Jay-Z award, I couldn't remember the name of the award that he won. That's an example of something where if it hadn't slipped my mind, you wouldn't have noticed, but because it did, it throws off the tone of the show.
This is why we need teleprompters. We don't have them.
Over that stuff. But it's like people think like what you do is you turn on the camera and you talk for 2 hours a day. Well, no, you have to do sound check. You have to do mic check. You have to make sure the equipment's working. First of all, you have to pick up all the money when we're done and all of that stuff. You have to do all those things. But here's the thing. That's what we signed up to do. And to call it work, yes, it is work. But this is one of the best jobs you could ever hope to have. So people who complain about it, it's just you're not going to get a whole lot of sympathy about it. It's just the inside baseball is always fun to hear about because that's the stuff I like. I like to hear people talk about how they've optimized, like what did they find out that worked. For instance, all our thumbnails used to be 4 lines or more. Now they're 3 lines or less most of the time.
Yeah. Sorenko Productions said, thanks Brett and Mary and chat. We'll see if I can find a place that wants bug-free code rather than quick broken code where I can watch PCC.
That would be good.
You have a good skill, so I think you're going to be okay.
You are better off than the journalists who are getting fired.
Yes. Corey Anderson said, can you get Quarter Black Garrett on?
Have we reached out? I thought we reached out to him before.
Did, but I could be wrong.
That'd be cool.
It might have been a while ago. Corey Anderson also said, as of 21st of May, I will have been married 18 years. Taking on for the team to see cats is an easy one. Love you, Jess.
That's
awesome. Is she watching? That's sweet.
That's really awesome, honestly.
Midian 1911 said there was also a band called White Trash, 2 Hebes, and a Bean.
That's freaking hilarious. Maybe I should show them the Alex Jones clip that I sent you earlier.
Sure. You really related to this one because it's Alex Jones sitting in a classic.
It's a classic Pizza Hut. I like the idea of this is Republican slam poetry.
I'm an explorer.
I'm refreshing.
Here, I'm an explorer. I'm a human, and I'm coming. I'm animated. I'm alive. My heart's big. It's got hot blood going through it fast. I like to fight, too. I like to eat. I like to have children.
Yes.
I'm here. I got a life force. This is a human. This is what we look like. This is what we act like. This is what everybody was like before us. This is what I am. I'm a throwback. I'm here. I've got the fire of human liberty. I'm setting fires everywhere, and humans are turning on everywhere. I'm a pioneer. I'm an explorer.
We're locking in.
That's it says you're on your first date, and that's what you say to her.
That's how you win a girl.
That's
how you riz her up. Yep. Corey Anderson said median. That was a what is this? NOFX?
Yeah, NoFX.
NoFX album. Disco Jensen said there is a band of army vets called Headspace and Timing. If you know, you know.
Okay.
Gal Kaderp said wasn't going to super chat, but you guys should get Jake from JFC Bar None on the show. He's based, funny, and doesn't mince words to spare feelings.
Okay, we'll look it up.
60 Watt said, my dad has all of his hair, 65, and I'm pretty dang bald, 38. It comes from your mother's side. Also, bald is beautiful. That's true. It comes from your maternal grandparent, actually.
My grandpa had a beautiful full head of hair.
Yeah, so that's why you're good.
Good.
Tacti Plati said, Brett Monroe Doctrine series, 8 audiobooks, go.
Okay.
I don't know what that's saying. Carnell said, I love you guys. That is all.
Thank you.
Shane H. Wilder said, now I've got to clip Mary saying, why are you gay? And insert her into the meme. I'm excited to see the final results. Hiroshima Otaru said, baldness is on X chromosome, aka from mom. Bucky Ducky said, you need good titles and thumbnails. Y'all got it.
We've gotten better over time. Like it's gotten a lot easier. The thing is like it's one of those weird skill sets where you have to like some days it comes really, really easy. Like yesterday when we were coming up with what was the one? It was like somebody gets revenge. What was the? It was like,
Shane Gillis gets revenge on SNL.
Yeah, like something like that. You feel like it would come really, really easily, but it doesn't always necessarily. That one did. But some days it just doesn't. And then you find out you're using so-and-so slammed in X. And that's like every thumbnail. And you can't do that. Like,
we really, agonize.
I would prefer to use
wordings.
Excoriated more, but Mary doesn't like it when I want to use excoriated.
We try not to get too thesaurus on y'all with our titles and our thumbnails.
It was like we were going to use existential, and I'm like, we can't use like it's a great word.
Not that you guys are dumb or anything, but we're saying YouTube at large.
It's literally for people like me who would read it, and I know what the word means if it's said out loud, but I don't like exist. What? Like I just if you're looking
at it, you scroll and you only
scroll
have like a millisecond to get someone's attention. Corey Anderson said Catholic Bachelor for. Well, like the ideas I have for reality shows, I don't even want to star in them. I just want to be the person in the background pulling all the strings and causing drama, getting people drunk and fighting. Like, I want to be like giving them the provocative questions. Like, don't you think it was kind of shady when he, like, you know, like I want to be the person who's creating all of the chaos.
The producer.
Yeah.
There's a $20 one there from Joe Watlin.
He said, feeling self-indulgent right now. It's my birthday today. Okay, we have multiple birthdays. You beautiful folks are always a comforting presence. I'm 45 today. I work graveyard shift. Be nice. Get a little B-Day celebration before I gotta sleep.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I will not, however, I will not.
What?
Do you the disservice of singing you happy birthday on there? Okay, so
this isn't a Red Robin.
I was at an Olive Garden recently. First of all, it was my first time in an Olive Garden in like 15 years.
Okay. And it's never good.
And it was fine. The food was fine.
Olive Garden?
It's fine. Whatever.
I'm not picky about food, but it's actually just disgusting in there.
Free breadsticks will get me every time.
They're pretty good.
The point being that right behind us was somebody getting happy birthday sung to you, and I just squirmed in my seat at having to like feel for this poor person. And because they don't say their name, they say happy birthday from Olive Garden.
Oh.
Happy birthday to you. And I literally almost died of secondhand embarrassment. Poor guy.
The other places ask you your name first.
Poor guy.
But I think that everyone knows the trade-off for the free dessert is you have to go through the embarrassment.
I guess, yeah. Yep.
Of the song. DJ Medeiros said, Mary, if do-nothing presidents are your thing, then President Calvin Coolidge is for you. Look him up. Very underrated. That is his legacy, isn't it? Bucky Ducky said, LOL, I love making you pick up the money.
We do have to...
Well, you don't get to watch us picking up the money. It's just the knowledge that we have to.
Yes, that we have to.
It helps you sleep at night.
Eventually, guys, if this channel gets big enough, we'll just hire out the...
We'll get money cleaners.
Yes.
Yeah, that's our dream.
One of the funniest things about this show, guys, is like, okay, so we're up in the attic, basically. We're up where IRL used to be. And sometimes, you know, there has to be work done. There's pipes and everything off to the side here. You can't see them. And workers will have to come up here. Maybe they have to fix the AC unit or something like this. And they'll see all this fake money, which they can't tell is fake from a distance. And we have to be like, yeah, we're not drug dealers or anything. And we're not stupid. It's not real money.
I think they know it's fake, right?
I hope.
Otherwise,
I hope.
Wouldn't they try to swipe some?
Probably.
Midian 1911 sent $1 without a message.
I mean, would you... Okay,
Thank
look,
you.
There's literally cameras in front of you. Would you really want to swipe the money when there's 4 cameras pointed right at it?
Fair enough. I don't even really notice that the cameras are here until they're on. Crispy Like Transport LLC said, I've seen what happens when the headspace and timing is off on 50 cals.
Okay.
What? Charlene Ferguson said, I'm having a bad day and I really appreciate your stream. I have no idea how super chats work. Let's go.
You do want to know how they work because you just made them work.
Well, you just learned.
So thank you.
You were today years old. Well, I hope that your day improves, or at least we can be a part of it.
I try to, like, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Like on Fridays, I usually go into either, like if I'm not doing Ballers that week, I'll go and send a super chat to them. Or I'll go into Vera's stream and send a super chat to her. And I don't really watch gaming streams, but I will go in and say hi, just to support.
I've literally never sent a super chat.
I think it told me like last week when I did that test. It was like, that is your 20th super chat.
Bucky Ducky said, adding Olive Garden to the ick list.
I had nothing wrong with it. It tasted perfectly fine.
It's like not even something wrong with the taste. It just makes me feel like physically something's wrong. Like, this isn't food. You're eating something that isn't food. You know what I mean? And I'm usually not a snob. Like, you know I love Taco Bell.
Yep. It's food adjacent to
It's like, it's a different thing. It's a different category.
Maybe because it's like pretending to be something, like you think it, like if it was actually unapologetically not like attempting to be high end because it's not high end.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if the lighting wasn't so dim.
Yeah.
Stop hiding your food.
It's to hide how dirty everything is. Sorenko Productions said PCC was the only reason I was productive during 3 to 5 p.m.
Well, hopefully at your next job, you can be even more productive.
Glad we could help.
Also, I am not Olive Garden shaming. I had nothing wrong with it. I'll go back.
Okay, I guess I'm not Olive Garden shaming. I'm just like confused. Like, that just confuses me that you would voluntarily go there. Shane H. Wilder said Mary becomes a reality TV producer and proceeds to spend the rest of her life in reconciliation for causing drama.
And then they can make a short film about you having to go to reconciliation forever.
Moral dilemma about being a reality TV producer.
Yep.
Look, I'm just asking questions.
I'm just asking questions.
If I'm just asking inflammatory questions, it's them they're responsible if they start fighting, right?
Your intent is known.
But they know that it's for entertainment value.
But your intent is known and it's a financial motive at that.
True. Gordon Shumway said, make sure your money cleaners are diverse. You don't want to get canceled.
We could do that.
We'll make sure of it.
And there's one over there from Dr. Tran.
You should definitely do this. A closing screen with a janitor. Just sweeping up money for 10 to 15 minutes would be hilarious.
Oh, look, every time one of these live streams goes up, guys, there's usually at least 1 or 2 comments where somebody says, why do they have that intro? Don't they know they could clip that out? I leave it up there. I leave it up there for you guys because you get to see me. Like today, I had to scramble to put the damn green light up.
Oh, yeah.
Before we went live today. We were on this screen right here, and I'm like, crap.
I always look and I'm like, is the crisis party volume up?
Yes.
Is that damn green light on?
Yeah. And there's one more there from Shane H. Wilder.
Also, what happened to having a short show? Oh, yeah, we did. LOL.
Look, I always try to make it at least 2 hours once we get through the super chat. Like if it ends 5 minutes early, you don't want to just sit there for 5 minutes and talk. But if we end a little bit early, again, most of the topics today were about 10 minutes long. So we made our length and then keep talking to you guys. And then Crispy Like Transport says, I keep forgetting you guys don't know Army lingo. 50 cal machine guns, 50 cal machine gun has to be set up in a certain way to fire without blowing up on you or having a bad malfunction. Well, I understood the 50 cal reference, but I didn't understand the rest of it.
Bucky Ducky said Taco Bell isn't real food either. Still good though.
Correct.
I get it. It's not real food, but for some reason, Olive Garden just don't agree with me. Like, it just made me kind of depressed eating Olive Garden.
Yeah.
I feel like they like put a lot of sugar in their food too.
I also saw did you ever see the picture of the husband and wife who posed in front of the Olive Garden and it looked like they were in Italy for their honeymoon?
They did?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find that. That was really, really funny.
This is the scam of the century. Like bragging about their Italian honeymoon or whatever. Well, it's true Italian cuisine.
Yeah, here it is.
It actually is. Oh,
let's go.
Why is it low-key convincing?
Yes, their engagement
They had
photos.
some good editing, some good lighting on that.
Yes, let's go.
Okay, it actually looks.
It's serving.
Good. It gave. It's giving. Wait, why do they have a check?
It says they were surprised by Good Morning America with a honeymoon trip to Italy. Let's go.
Wait, so they got a real one?
Or GMA. I'm assuming GMA is Good Morning America.
They won a real trip to Italy.
Yes.
Okay, that's fun.
I'm assuming that's Good Morning. Oh no, it's Good Morning America. So yeah, they did. All right. Do we have any more? Is that all?
I don't
of them?
think so.
All right, guys. Before we go, would you hit the like button on this video? And would you please subscribe to this channel if you have not already? We are getting so close to 100,000 subscribers. It would be fantastic if we could get there before Friday or on Friday. We're looking forward to it, guys. Thank you so much for that. Mary, let everyone know where they can find you.
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And I tweeted the link to that episode with Meghan McCain's podcast if you want to listen to that.
Perfect. We almost got to 6 crisis parties today. That's crazy. All right. Guys, if you want to follow
There's
me.
still time.
We've got one more here from Shane H. Wilder who says, went to Olive Garden once. Once was too much.
Yeah. It's just, it has a depressing vibe in there.
It was
Is it just the ambiance? Like, I don't know.
It was
Everything
fine.
in there is just so greasy.
It was so dark when I was in there that I could barely see anything.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you again. We're getting so close to 100,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. If you would like to follow me, you could follow me on Instagram and on Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. PCC is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you'd like to listen rather than watch. And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at PopCulture_show, Facebook and not TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.